going on, everyone? It's Nina Infinity. Welcome to my channel on this Wednesday. This is Infinite Talk, and this is spooky season. So we're going to be talking about all sorts of stuff that has to do with Halloween and scariness and spookiness and Israel and Palestine. No, not joking. We're not talking about that, even though that's kind of like horror on earth right now. But still, we're not talking about that. We're talking about actually spooky stuff like ghosts and stuff and demons and I don't know, devils and maybe aliens. I don't know. What else is spooky, John? Hi, John. You look so good. Hi.
Oh, hi. Hi, Nina. Hi, everyone. Yeah, it's that time of the year. And yeah, we're gonna be talking about, I guess, a bunch of scary stuff. What else is scary? I think the unknown is
Ooh,
scary.
the unknown. I
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
like, Spielberg, Jaws. You didn't see the shark. You didn't see the shark. You didn't know what the hell that thing was like. And that's the most scary sort of thing I think out there is just like what lurks out in the depths of the darkness. I think that's scarier than actually seeing the darn thing, maybe in some cases.
You know what? You're so right in a way, but also just darkness in itself is so frightening because I've stared into the abyss, so I know that's happened to me twice. And it's funny that you brought up Jaws because that was the first time, was like when you go to the ocean and you're like, because like you peer, like you go swimming and you kind of like, you're like, I'm gonna go as deep as I can, and then you just kind of like open your eyes and it's just pitch black, like there's nothing else, it's just this pitch black, and it's like the depths of the abyss, and you feel like you're being pulled down. It's like as if it's like something is calling to you, something's reaching out and just grabbing
Just like
your soul,
sucking you in like
Mhm.
like a black hole almost. I
Yes,
think
it is.
space is the other extreme where somebody could be just like being lost in the expanse of space too. That's
But
very
at
similar.
least, yep, yes, but at least in space there's light. That's why you can see stars in the
That's
distance.
a good point.
Whereas in
At
the
least you
sea and stuff, you don't see any light. There's nothing. It's just pitch black. And
That's
this
pretty scary.
it is. And then the second one that happened to me is when I was in the cave, the never-ending cave of Alisat, which is in a city called Abadan in Iran. And it's like the never-ending cave. They've never found the end of it. And when I was going through the tour where the humans have gone, there was parts of it that was blocked off. And there was this one part where it was blocked off and you couldn't go, but like I just kind of stared into it. And they actually told you don't stare at it because it's gonna hypnotize you and you might kind of like fall in. Like it was like this thing. And I was just like, yeah, right. I'm doing it because they told me not to. So I'm doing it. And then I did it and it was like that. And you could just feel that pulling. And it was like kind of like the exact same energy as the ocean.
Whoa.
This pulling feeling of get into the abyss.
Could you not see your hand in front of your face? Was it like so dark? Was it like that?
My mom just messaged me and was like, it's in Hamadan, because she always gets bothered when I make the mistake of saying the wrong city name. Hi, Mom. Hi.
Hey, be a little more enthusiastic,
But she's so
saying
annoyed
hi
at
to
me
your
right
mom.
now. She's like, what are you doing saying the wrong city's name? Look, it's the two names, Hamadan and Abadan. Can you possibly realize why I would mistake these two very similar sounding names all the time? It's a mix. You know, there's a girl supposed to come on here tonight. Her name is Michelle. And I used to call her Natalie because her sister's like she looks really similar to her, and I would call her Michelle, and I would just mix up their names all the time, and they don't even sound the same. So, oh, and look, it's Natalie right now. No, I'm just joking. It's Michelle.
Hey.
Hello, it's Michelle in her robe.
Hi, hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. My mom just decided to text me and correct me, and while I was telling the story of going to the never-ending cave in, wait, what was it, John? What did she correct me about? Do you remember?
Hadan, was it?
Hamadan, right?
Hamadan. Okay.
Yeah, Hamadan. And I had to look at her text, and be like, wait, what was the city again? Because I was going to get it wrong. And I was just telling the story of how I used to mix you up with your sister all the time,
Yeah.
Michelle.
How
And
did that make you feel, Michelle?
Honestly, I didn't care. I really didn't. No, everyone my whole life, they don't actually. That's rare. I'm confused with my sister Natalie. Usually, for whatever reason, people will just look at me and say Melissa, like so confidently, like Melissa's my name. That's happened my entire life.
Wow.
That is so weird.
I wonder,
then-
do you look like a Melissa? You must look like a Melissa to them for
then
whatever reason.
What's funny is I have a friend, Melissa, and I told her this one time, and she said, "No way." She's like, "People always call me Michelle." So I don't know.
Dun.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
weird.
It is weird.
It's
but
almost
yeah,
like you were meant to have the
each
opposite
other's
names.
names.
Yeah. Like somehow or another, there was like some anomaly in the universe where you got Michelle when you should have got Melissa, and she got Melissa when she should have got Michelle. That's like
It's an alternate
it's never
reality.
corrected. It's never corrected itself. It's
I know. It's
that's
like
bizarre.
what is that? Like, that's not the is that like the Mandela effect? What is that? Like, there's a name for that. Like, it's like an alternate reality thing where it's like leaked, but you don't know what it is or how it's worked out.
It's
but now
definitely
it's
one of
worked out.
those kind of things. I don't know if it'd be a Mandela effect.
No, it wouldn't be that.
But it would be, something where it's like, the Matrix. Like there's a glitch in the Matrix.
There's a glitch in the Matrix, like like when the black cat walks by or whatever.
But it's a different type of glitch. It's not like a black cat deja vu sort of situation, but it's just the names got somehow
They got switched.
swapped. Yeah.
I'm just
And
wondering.
all these NPCs are calling you, Melissa. They're just going around, Melissa, and it's like, no, it's Michelle.
I'm just wondering, like, because Lisa's like, you look like a Melissa, and I'm like, what does that mean? Like, what does it mean when someone looks like a name?
I don't
like,
know.
like, I don't understand.
It's
like,
their
what do
own
I look like?
associations. Like it's their own personal associations. That has to be.
Yes, that's
the
true.
case.
That's true.
I could see that. Like you were like maybe a really nice girl in Lisa's life that was named Melissa, or a bully
And had dark brown hair and like
had dark,
yeah.
or someone like a bully that was memorable, and you were like, oh, that chick looks like a Melissa. Like, no, not that. I'm sure it wasn't that, because you're like the sweetest person ever.
But sometimes people can do that though. They can like if they have an association, they've had a bad experience with somebody that looks like you, or maybe even has the same name. Yeah, they can give you the side eye. It happen.
Has that happened to you, John?
Oh, I'm sure it's happened to everybody at some point.
Dude, you look like you just came out of the Matrix. I love it. Like your whole getup just looks so amazing tonight.
Well, I'm like, I didn't get a Halloween costume. What am I gonna do? I'll just do something. And I'm like, well, what would I call this? And I'm a very important person. That's
Okay.
who I'm. Yeah, that's who I'm being.
You're just gonna
for Halloween. I'm a
you're
very
a very important person.
Well, I guess since I'm in my PJs, that I'm like Eddie from National Lampoon's Vacation.
Okay, all right, there we go. I was gonna dress in full costume tonight, and now I'm glad I didn't, because you guys totally phoned it in. So I'm really glad that
You should have went for it, but yeah.
I know I'm doing it Friday. It's because I didn't get to go get my nails done, so I still have like the pumpkin themed nails, and for the costume I need the nails. So I'm like, that's just not gonna happen. Oh my God, there's a surprise guest that I never thought would make an appearance tonight. It's Christy. Hi, Christy.
Hey, what's up, Chrissy?
Hey, Chrissy.
Hi.
Hey, how are you, girl?
Working.
You're working and calling in.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Did you see the Walmart horse that I tagged you on?
Yes, I did.
I'm so glad.
I don't know why Phil's posting my channel link. There's no fucking videos.
I don't know.
What is the Walmart horse? What is this?
It was a horse in Walmart. Well, actually, it was a unicorn. I should make the distinction, because Here, let me try and pull it up because I think it was Krista Nova that posted it. And she was like, look, it's a horse in Walmart.
It's
And
you know, I've seen a lot of country things.
here it is.
I'm from the South, but a Walmart or a horse in a fucking Walmart.
It's got blue hair.
It's a real horse.
It's real, man.
Look, it's got a horn. It's a unicorn.
Oh.
And he just walks around with it, and he's got blue hair. At least it's Walmart themed.
I'd have to say this is probably like the least strangest thing I've ever seen in Walmart. Like,
we're supposed to talk about horror stories tonight. Look at this guy. I mean, it's a bit of a horror story, I guess. I mean, this guy's just
well, the real horror story is he's wearing a Dak Prescott jersey.
wow, I don't even know what that is.
The Cowboys, they're not having a great season.
The Cowboys quarterback, Nina. I don't even watch football, and I know that shit.
I don't. I've never watched anything football ever. I know what the Cowboys are, but I don't know anything about the football people. Wait, I do know Tom Brady's hot.
Tom Brady is actually aged. Like, he looks better now than he did when he was 20.
He really actually kind of does.
But that's because like men age better. Like they look better as they age.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think that's really like a sometime situation.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's all the time situation.
No.
Do you see men, like all these men going from like like where they were in high school to Tom Brady? I don't think
no.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but it's a saying though, like men become silver foxes. Like, I feel like it's more true for men than it is for women. That's why they say we hit the wall and they call you guys fucking silver foxes. We got the shitty end of the stick on that one.
Generalization, I think.
I think John's right.
Yeah. No, some women age great, and some men age great, and it goes both ways.
That's the true horrors, I guess. Aging. I want to die.
Stressed all of us for the night.
Yeah.
Unless you're like my cousin's son, who, when he was born a couple weeks ago. Oh wow, what a baby!
Really?
Oh, no, that.
Is it like that episode of Seinfeld where like that guy was like, "Oh my god, that baby's really breathtaking." And
it was
like
something to
baby.
that effect, but I wanted to say something like that, but something else came out instead, and I was just like, oh fuck.
Oh no.
I was like, wow, that baby's fugly.
What did you say, Christy?
Yeah, what did you
say? That baby's fugly.
Okay.
No, you said it. We all think things, Christy. You're not supposed to say them. God damn it. Wow.
I mean, like, he came out old looking. I mean, all wrinkled and everything.
Maybe he'll like Benjamin Button. Maybe he'll go in reverse.
Oh my
just get younger as he goes.
He'll have a boy face the rest of his life.
Yeah. By the time he's like 90, he's gonna look 15.
He looks a lot better now, but I'm just like, to me, all newborn babies are ugly. I mean, that's just a fact to me.
I mean, you're not wrong, honestly, because they're like really small and tiny. Like it gets like they get cute like a few months out, like when their cheeks like plump out and they're like unless they're really fat when they come out. But like at first they're like just too frail and weird looking. They're like aliens, they're like
little.
They're like they're like tiny.
I swear, Nina, if you had a kid, you would never be able to say any of these things.
Oh, absolutely.
Like if you actually had a baby, like well, Christy would say it about your baby.
I said that about my nieces.
I would never invite Christy over to my house for that very reason.
My sister was pissed.
She's too fucking honest. Like I feel
wonder,
like, oh my god.
Yeah, I guess she would be.
So I have one niece who was born in 2008 and another that was born in 2016. And my oldest niece found the old videos of when she was born and the days after the hospital. And I'm like, oh shit, please don't be on there. Please don't be on there because I was on there. I was like, yeah, Misty, she's so pretty, and it was just the pause that I did.
Oh my God. I'd be like, you bitch.
Oh my! She slapped me.
Oh my God, Chrissy. It's been so long since I've talked to you. Have you seen any good scary movies recently
course
that you
not.
love?
Not really.
Nothing too crazy
There
going on. Are you dressing up as anything this Halloween?
No, I have to work.
You don't dress up at work?
No. Well, we used to. I'm a big. I really wish I could show my all my Halloween. Like, I'm a big Halloween person when it comes to work. I mean, I had a big office that sat my desk and 2 other people, and these were L-shaped desks too. So we went all out. Got the black trash bags and put them over the fluorescent lights that were in the ceiling. Made it dark. We had like the glow in the dark, like lights hanging down. I bought a skeleton, got some fishing line, and got a few paper clips and put that in the tiles of the ceiling. I mean, we went all out.
That sounds like fun. But you don't do that anymore.
Yeah, HR party. Exactly. That was it. HR.
HR party poopers.
The very next day, my boss is like, I'm not going to get written up, and you're not going to get written up, but we can't do this again.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What about you, Michelle? Do you dress up at work or anything like that?
No,
For
in
Halloween?
fact, like I bought a little something for me that I'll wear Monday for our live stream and for Toxic Femme. But like, I'm the type from the time I was about 13, like I just did not care and did not want to dress up.
Really? From that
Yeah.
young?
Yeah, like I was like, yes, like I was like as soon as I hit teenage years, is like I'm out, like I'm not doing this.
What
And
about
then-
Natalie? Was she
Oh,
like that?
Natalie's dressed up all through the years.
Oh my God. I love
Was it?
that.
Do you think it was just like you, like your sister was one way and you were like, yeah, I'm taking the other way?
I think that's why I am the person I am today, actually.
I mean, it kind of works out like that though when you have siblings sometimes, because
It does.
yeah, it's just like you want to be your own person, you want to be your own individual, and yeah, I can see that.
Wait, who's older? Are you older or Natalie?
No, Natalie's older, 2 years older than me.
Oh, so that's why she's like, you're like, I don't want to do no.
I'm like, I'm just gonna do my own thing.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
I'm too mature for this dressing up.
God.
Exactly,
Natalie.
That's actually what was in my mind. Or Natalie's just gonna have
Just
fun, you know?
Childish
That's how I viewed it, yes.
dressing up.
Did you guys ever do anything together, like dual Halloween costumes?
No, I mean, we did when we were growing up, but like, by the time I was 13, I was out.
You're like out. You're totally out. What about now? Like, you've never done one as an adult, like to go like to parties or anything?
No.
Wow. See, like I feel like that's such a missed
Michelle was
opportunity.
adulting. She was adulting, way back.
I feel like that's such
really
a missed opportunity. You did, because I've never had siblings. So like if I had a sister, I'd be like, we're going as double costumes. Like we're doing something together. Like it's just such a missed opportunity for you, I feel like.
See, Natalie wasn't going to say that, so it wasn't going to
If
happen.
I had to guess, I would guess that Michelle is a very high achiever.
Well, she is. Aren't you a doctor now?
Yes.
See, I knew it.
How did
Age
you know
difference
it?
between
Well, if
y'all.
you're showing that level of, I think maturity at a young age and self-restraint or discipline like that, to not conform to everybody else, and to think that it was kind of stupid. It was just my guess that you were just going to surpass the other kids. You already had a head start on them. So.
Now, John, do you know what she got her doctorate in?
I don't, but I'm gonna take a guess.
Not
Psychology?
taking bullshit.
No.
Okay.
Theology.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. See, I
Yes.
thought you would like that because I know John's into theology.
A little bit. I went to Bible school, believe it or not.
Okay,
Yeah, for a
yeah.
few years. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
I just find the whole thing fascinating because of the whole just demons and stuff. Like I think
Out
that-
of all of it, Nina, that's the thing you find most fascinating.
well, yeah, like
Not-
the idea
not-
that there's a hell.
Not the prospect of
That's
God. and-
scary.
yeah.
Well, no, see the thing is, if all of that, if the bad stuff is true, that means the good stuff is true too.
Yes.
So
True.
I think that's the thing that actually works against the devil. So when the devil tries to prove himself to you and he's like, look, I exist, I'm the best,
Yeah.
you know, I got it going on, then you can be like, hey, if you exist, that means all the good stuff exists too, including the heaven and all the good stuff. And that means I don't want to be on your team. I want to be on the other team because I don't want to burn in hell. So I mean that logically, I feel like that's how it would work for me personally. It actually worked like that because recently we reviewed that show. What's it called? The Fall of the House of Usher.
Oh yes, yeah.
And that was like one of the themes in it is like, you know, if you were to talk, you know, if you want to make a deal with the devil, you know, would you make a deal and how would you make the deal and, you know, that kind of thing. And I think that idea is really interesting to me. The idea that people would kind of sell their souls for certain things. It's pretty funny to me.
Yeah.
Is that a movie or is that a show?
That's a show. It's on
show.
Netflix.
Okay.
John still hasn't gone to Netflix since they had Cuties on. He's the only one that's still holding out.
Neither have I. I don't have Netflix.
Oh, you're really?
Yeah, I
Because
still
of
don't have-
Cuties.
Yeah, because of Cuties. I don't have Netflix.
Wow. So okay, you and John are the only people holding out. That's
Well-
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did say on a YouTube video in front of, you know, at least 4,000 people that watched it that I was going to boycott it. So until they took it off. Until they
But
took it off.
forever.
I regret that. But I'm still sticking to my word.
I know he's like, I haven't seen Stranger Things. I haven't
Yeah.
seen anything. This
Oh,
sucks.
okay. No,
I haven't seen
I'm-
Mank.
What,
I-
could you bypass it, John, by like buying the DVD set of Stranger Things?
Well, I could do that, but I did want to see David Fincher's
Killer.
Mank, but based off of Citizen Kane. You know, his movie about Citizen Kane, the writer of Citizen Kane. But yeah, there's a bunch of other stuff I'd love to see. But
If anything, I would want to go as Halloween. I would go as a pirate.
Ooh.
That's what I would do.
Would you get yourself like a hook hand?
No,
and everything?
Nina. It's another meeting. I'm a pirate.
Okay, I got that. Okay, I got
still
it now.
watch plenty of Netflix shows, but they're not getting my money. Allegedly, are.
That's kind of how I feel about Disney Plus. So I'm on the same page. I know I have a good friend. His name is Jack Sparrow. I visit him all the time. But Brett here says, "What is Cuties?" I literally have no idea what that is. That is a horror story in itself, isn't it? I feel like that's kind of a horror story, like a bunch of basically minors being taken advantage of and kind of made a movie about their sexuality or something. I don't know. It's disgusting. Hey,
It was.
Demogenize in the chat. And he
Hey,
says, I don't
Demogeny.
have Netflix either. Demogenize, you want to come on and hang out with us? You can.
Come on,
yeah, what's up,
Demogeny.
Demaja?
Come hang out. Hold on. Let me send
I
Demogenize the link.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm always a sucker for especially the Travel Channel during Halloween seasons. They'll play the ghost stories or people reenacting like with hauntings or Bigfoot and stuff like that. I'm a sucker for those. But the first time I see something, my ass is running.
Ooh, have you ever seen anything or any experience?
No.
What about you guys, John?
Nina, I need to address the new person who likes to troll me with their Twitter name for $1.99.
Oh, this
Taylor
one.
Swift is overrated.
Taylor Swift
Oh,
is overrated.
no.
I know who
Nice
this is.
profile pic too. Like
I know who this is.
I
How
know
did
who
you-
it is too. It's got to be DL.
It is DL. How did you like The Shining, Dr. Smith? Okay, yeah. Do you want me to answer? Or you guys keep talking. Do you want me to answer that now?
No,
or-
get it.
Okay.
How did you like it?
Well, our reaction came out today.
I
and
did. I
will-
watched that, by the way. I've
Oh,
been
did you?
watching. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of your guys' reviews.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, they're really good.
Thank you.
Well,
Yes.
you're reviewing really good movies too. Movies that I've seen. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, so we reacted to The Shining that came out today, but I'll let you guys know I did I thought it was like a masterpiece in cinema. Like I truly did.
It's
Like
great. It's a good
like
movie.
I mean, I don't think it's up there. Like I don't even think it's just I would definitely now I've not seen The Exorcist, but as of right now, I think this is the best horror movie I've ever seen.
whoa,
Hmm.
high praise.
No, because it's just like such a dang good movie. Like, I mean, even the music in it is so good and
So
haunting.
good.
I mean, think about it. It's like the one horror movie that is made like in the light, and yet
Mhm.
it's freaky as like anything.
He really, I mean, Kubrick is one of the masters of cinema. So I think even though Stephen King didn't like it at all, I think that the liberties he took with that movie and that story was right on. At least for me, I thought it was great.
Well, and then on top of that, you've got Jack Nicholson, who like at times I would just be smiling as he's like verbally abusing his wife because his acting was so perfect that it was entertaining me even though the character was being bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was just I don't know. I thought the movie from Jack Nicholson to just I thought it was it was one of those movies after I watched it for 48 solid hours. My brain just had to keep thinking through this movie. I mean, that's just so rare today that a movie really stops me and makes me think.
That's Kubrick for you.
Yeah.
I was gonna recommend, but I was like, do I really want to send you guys down this rabbit hole? There is a documentary called Room 237, and it's about all these different theories on The Shining, and they're pretty good.
Okay, so what's that on? I want to see it.
I want to watch it too.
You could probably find it if you just search Google it, Room 237.
Okay.
But yeah, it's crazy because I think there's about 7 or 8 different people that have their own take on The Shining, and they're all different. And they, somebody believes that The Shining is about the genocide of the Native Americans.
Yeah.
Another one believes that it's about the Apollo moon landing being fake. So it's all the documentary is just interesting to watch, even if you don't necessarily buy into everything that's being said in it.
That's really fascinating, and I want to watch it because documentaries about real or movie stuff like that, and then the ones that they show you the real aspect of it really fascinate me. That's why that was going to be a topic for tonight. I think Keri, when she joins up, we're going to talk about it. But The Devil on Trial, which is on Netflix, that's the documentary about the Conjuring movies, and I just recently watched that, and that was great. Chrissy, go on your pirate ship, girl, and get that documentary because I think everybody should watch it. Allegedly. Real quick, let me get the super chat here from Michelle for $5. This says, my name is Michelle and my sister is Melissa. It's extremely common for people to call us each other's names, whether they know us or not. That's funny, but that's what I did with Michelle and Natalie. Hey, Natalie. Michelle, Natalie. Oh my God, it's terrible. It's terrible. But thank you so much for your super chat, Michelle.
Again, there's something going on. There's something going on with these two names.
I know
there is.
And speaking of crazy people that I love, here is Nick. Hi.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm broadcasting live from Maine.
Oh,
what's up, Nick?
From Maine. My God.
Don't research that joke. That was a good joke, but don't research it.
Oh no.
And that's when I research.
I heard bad things. I heard bad things are happening there.
That was the joke.
Yeah, that was a really terrible joke. I hate you. It's so fucking dark.
Don't go there.
He just has to come in here and make it dark because you're such a dark person.
I'm not hot. Like, you don't have to get Rachel on me.
Fuck you. Nick, have you seen obviously you've probably seen The Shining.
Yes.
We were just talking about that. Have you seen the documentary John was talking about? What was it called?
Room 237.
No, but I have. I've watched a couple things about Room 237 at the Stanley Hotel, but I have not I think that's what it's about, right?
John.
Well, there's a bunch of different theories about room 237. So 237 is obviously in the it's the Overlook Hotel,
or the
right?
Overlook, not the Stanley. Sorry, the Stanley's in the movie. Dumb.
Yeah, but
that's
but
a bad joke.
But no, that's what it's about. Is all these different theories about what does what's The Shining really about, and what's room 237.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
My favorite thing I watched about the Overlook Hotel was Ghost Adventures with Zach Bagans. When they went to the Overlook Hotel, it was a pretty good episode. I liked it.
Ooh, I've never seen that. Nick, have you ever seen a ghost or have like a ghost story?
I saw a bunch of them carrying crosses.
Oh no.
Once. No, I'm joking. Okay, sorry.
Nina said, "Oh no."
I'm in a terrible mood, like in the best way, because it's like really sad stuff's going on. No, I've never actually seen a ghost, but I have some spooky stories from my old house.
Tell us.
Oh my God. Well, there's a couple. So our old house was not like an old house. It wasn't particularly old, and I'm not aware of anyone dying there. Although for a while we thought like a kid died there, because one time we like the bathroom had one of those. It had fluorescent lights and it had a diffuser, and like it randomly just shattered. Like I think one of my kids broke it, but it randomly shattered. And we looked up there, and there's like a name. It said Tanner. And we're like, what the fuck is that? Like just this random name back there. And if you went up in the like light fixture and you looked around, it was in a bathroom, and there was this giant void of a space where the wall had been like built out, and you would think there was something there. Like it looked like that would have like a cupboard or something on some other part of the wall, but there was nothing. It was just a space big enough to kill like your kids in The Sims. Right? Like where they wander in, you're like, ha, and you drywall them off and watch them walk around.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. And I was like, oh, did they bury this kid Tanner in there? And like, are there claw marks? And no, it turns out he just helped build the light fixture. And so he wrote his name on it. But the owners whose kid it was, they had pictures of their other kids all over the house, but they didn't have this one kid's picture. And we were like, what is that story? It was very strange, but he was just older. I think he was from like a previous marriage. It was really mundane when we got down to it, that part. But we did think that there was like a dead kid in the house. But no.
Did you hear like eerie crying sounds?
Should make a movie about that. It'd be kind of anticlimactic, but
right. Like, oh my God, doing all this investigation to like find out, and then you find out it's like, oh no, he's actually still alive, and he like works nearby. Okay, that's cool. You can go say hi to him.
He works at the local bank, he lives an ordinary life.
But no, so I have two main ones. I have kids that range from 6 years old up to 15. And they had one of those Woody dolls with the drawstring and say, hi, my name's Woody, right? Like it would do that. So I have always been a night owl. And before I did YouTube or anything else, I would always stay up. And my free time was basically once the kids went to bed, once my wife went to bed, I would play video games or watch movies or write or read or whatever. And I would sit in my office, and around like 1 a.m, 2 a.m, freaking doll would sit there and just go, hi, my name's Woody. It would just sit there and like talk over and over.
It was like the Krusty doll that went crazy.
No. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I would yell at it and stuff. I'm like, shut up, you bastard. And you go out there and you're like, do it again. And then it would sometimes, and then other times it wouldn't. And it was around forever, like months and months of this shit. And my kids' cousins came over. And they like were playing with this thing, and they ripped its head off, and it never did it again, which would make sense if that had any connection to the voice box and the drawstring, which were entirely in the body. But like if you could draw the drawstring and it would play it, but it never automatically did it again.
That's crazy.
That was a weird one. I don't know. It's probably just faulty or whatever. Maybe there's moisture, something.
Was there any drugs involved?
No.
Like, were you drinking? Were you like?
No, that was before I drank.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's
interesting. That's pretty creepy.
But okay, so there's a very similar story that I read today. So that's kind of creepy, but it kind of matches a little bit. So I'm gonna read it for you right now. Okay. So it says the haunted doll story.
Oh
This is
God,
when you
please
think
tell me
of
it's that
haunted
Elmo
dolls.
doll.
What? Which one?
There's the Elmo doll that was like swearing at the kid and stuff. That one's
I think I
awesome.
heard about
Mm,
that. Yeah.
I didn't hear about that one. You're gonna have to tell me that one. This is not that. This is a Frozen doll, like an Elsa doll. It says it says that this Frozen doll was gifted for Christmas 2013 in the Houston area, made headlines earlier this year when it seemingly became haunted. As per KPRG2 Houston News, the doll recited phrases from the movie Frozen and sang Let It Go when a button on its neck was pressed. For 2 years, it did that in English, Mother Emily Madonia said. In 2015, it started doing it, altering Spanish between Spanish and English. There wasn't a button that changed these. It was just random. The family has owned the doll for more than 6 years and never changed its batteries. The mother says the doll would randomly begin to speak and sing even when it was switched off. The family decided to throw the creepy doll out in December 2019. Weeks later, they found it inside a bench in their living room.
What?
The kids insisted
cool.
that they didn't put it there, and I believe them because they wouldn't have dug through the garbage outside. Madonia told KPRC2 Houston News. At that point, Elsa ceased to sing the English rendition of Let It Go altogether, speaking only in Spanish when pressed. The family then double-bagged the bizarre doll and placed it in the bottom of a garbage, which was taken out on garbage day. They went on a trip shortly after, but when they returned, Elsa too had come back and was waiting in the backyard of their home. This time, the family mailed Elsa to a family friend in Minnesota. That's your state, Nick.
Why would you do that?
Yeah. Hey, friend.
Here you go. Sorry, I can't speak Spanish, so I had to do just an accent.
Who taped the haunted doll to the front bumper of his truck. It doesn't seem to have made its way back to Houston yet, as per Madonia's latest February Facebook update of the creepy doll.
Cool.
What if
If
that
you see
friend
this-
wound up dead?
Oh,
Like,
no.
Like, how creepy would that be? You like sent this haunted, murderous doll to your family friend.
That story is remarkably similar to the story that's adjacent to The Conjuring. It's one of their dolls. What was it? It was Annabelle.
Yeah, Annabelle. Yeah.
Which was actually just like the movie makes Annabelle look creepy, but the real Annabelle doll was a Raggedy Ann doll. But the movie has to make it like a broken porcelain face. It looks like the Exorcist girl, but it's just this Raggedy Ann doll that was completely normal. It wasn't even dirty or decayed or decrepit. It was just mundane, which made it way more terrifying to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that story is like the exact same, except for the whole like strangling the nurses and stuff that the Raggedy Ann doll apparently did. I just want a doll to come up on me. Like, I will just try it. Just try it. I am not afraid of a doll. I will kick the hell out of a doll. I'm not
Oh my
worried
God,
about this
don't
doll.
dare Chucky. It'll come to life and come get you.
Bring it. Oh my God, I beat up midgets before. I'll do it again.
I've literally been scared of Chucky all my life. Like, Chucky freaked me out when I was little. I was like, I saw this movie way too young. I shouldn't have watched this movie. And now I'm freaked out of every fucking Chucky doll there is. You know, Tom has that Chucky doll. That thing freaks me out, Michelle. Like, I'm always like, don't put it on the screen. Like, I don't want to look at it. I feel like it's going to come through the screen and stab me.
That is just such an opportunity. Like, when you have a doll like that, there's such an opportunity for pranks to be played.
Oh, I know.
Just to, like, put a knife in its hand and just put it right by your bed, and you wake the person up, and it's just there.
I have a story like that. My dad, this is probably when I was like 9 or 10, crawled under my sister's bed, and we could hear the scratches on the bottom of and we were just like, no way, you look, and trying to go down and flip the blanket up to look underneath the bed. And finally I did it. He shoved that damn doll in my face. I ended up getting a concussion. I was 9 or 10, by the way, and I hear my sister screaming, saying, "The dolly's killing Christy! The dolly's killing Christy!"
Oh my God. That's crazy. But it didn't kill you, obviously. You're here.
Oh no, absolutely
Or
not. But that's
did it?
creepy as hell.
I know. She is an
It's a-
avatar.
it's a
like, we can't
haunted
really
That
see
is
her.
episode.
true.
Yeah, we can't really see her. Maybe it's just, maybe Christy's speaking to us from beyond the grave.
You wish.
No, I don't. Michelle has to leave us. Thank you for being here tonight, Michelle.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me. I've enjoyed chatting with you all.
Of course. Plug your wares before you leave.
Yeah, you can find me and my sister at Force of Light Entertainment on YouTube. I'm trying to get my Rumble account going, but right now YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. So check us out
Perfect.
there.
Check out their movie reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
They
just did
just-
The Shining.
They just did The
Yeah.
Shining and they did Psycho,
Psycho.
previously,
Yes.
and that was really, really freaking good too. So yeah,
Thank
definitely
you.
check them out.
Thank you. Well, you guys have an awesome rest of your night, and I'll see you guys next time.
Bye,
Yeah.
Michelle.
Bye.
Bye. So Nick, that was the other thing because you brought up Annabelle, and that's the other thing I was going to tell you about was this documentary I've been telling everyone about, which is called "The Devil on Trial." It's on Netflix, and it's about the true story of the Conjuring movies, like the kid that did the Conjuring stuff. I don't know if have you seen the documentary?
I haven't seen the documentary, but I love the Conjuring movies.
Okay.
And that couple, like, they're just interesting. Like, they're
That
either
couple.
the greatest scam artists on the planet, or they're terrifying.
I'm gonna go with the first. I think they probably
too.
are really, really good scammers.
And I hats off to them.
I
do
think
it
so
forever.
too. I think what's weird though is I think they're both. I
Ooh.
don't think that for example, like I think the lady may have like some psychic powers. Like I think it's not that because I don't think I think psychics exist. Like I don't think like they don't. And I think that dude knows like he's actually a demonologist. Like he knows his history. He knows the stuff about demons and they use it. Like they use that knowledge and that power to like manipulate people. So I think it's like both. I don't think that they're like completely like illegitimate. Like I think they have some stuff going on. And that's why they're so believable because they're so like able to make your perception of whatever it is like skewed to their point of view. When I was watching this documentary, it was really like fascinating because one of the things that it was about was that this guy murdered his sister's this
Are
guy
you talking about
murdered
Ronnie DeFeo? No, different case. Sorry.
I forget what the guy's name was, but in the 80s he murdered his girlfriend's friend, and everybody was like, well, they were having like a tryst and all this stuff happened. There was drugs and alcohol, and this guy like blamed it on being possessed.
Yeah, that's
and
reasonable.
Yeah, really reasonable. But they had all this evidence from exorcising his brother from previously being possessed. And that's the story of the Conjuring kid. And they have all this evidence and they were going to bring it to trial, but the trial didn't accept it. They didn't accept, the judge didn't accept the
idea of possession or
Mhm.
yeah.
Hi, Keri.
What's up, Keri?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, hi, Nick. Hi.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. I've got my spooky Halloween top hat for Wednesday night
Yay.
episode. We just finished an episode about the Satanic Panic in the 1990s, and so I heard what you guys are talking about backstage. It sounds like something similar.
Yeah, that's why I was so fascinated by like I came into your chat and I was like listening and I was like, oh, this is so fascinating. I love this stuff. That's why I wanted you to watch the documentary. Did you happen to get a chance to watch that?
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm familiar with some of the parts of that case.
Yeah,
So he claimed demonic possession.
Yeah, he claimed demonic possession because his basically his girlfriend's brother was quote unquote possessed and exorcised like years before, and this family went through like an exorcism and they went through like just this kid being possessed. It was like this whole thing, and I don't want to spoil it too much because I think the documentary is fascinating. I want you guys to watch it yourselves, but it was just really interesting because basically most of the family like agreed that the brother was possessed and one brother didn't. Like one brother was like, no, this is not the way it happened. And then those people scammed my family and like, all this kind of stuff. So it was just really interesting to see the different perspectives of it. Hey, what's up, Adam Krigler? I see you in the chat. How you doing, buddy?
Have you seen the movie Nefarious?
Oh, that's
yes, that's a great movie.
I just bring it up because I mean it's a work of fiction, but I think it's very interesting. It's a work of
Dun,
fiction,
dun.
but it reads like a play almost, the script, and it mostly takes place in one room, and it's about a serial killer who claims to be possessed, and it's this demon talking through him most of the time to this lawyer. And what's the reason I thought of that when you're talking about this case with the murderer who says he was possessed by a demon, at the end of the day, it sort of, does it matter? Because even if you are possessed by something, and I do believe in at least the possibility of things I don't understand, like demons, who knows?
Mhm.
Even if you are possessed by something that we don't understand, I think there's still some degree of responsibility that you allowed this being, if you think of it that way, to possess you.
Well, see, that's why it's
Wait,
so
allowed
fascinating.
it.
Yeah. See, that's why it's so fascinating with this case specifically, because the way that this guy allowed this demon to possess him or whatever was through the exorcism of the brother.
Okay.
And when he wasn't able to get exercise, and when all the preachers were like doing the exorcism, and it was like all going crazy and everything, this young man that was there at the exorcism was like, "Leave the boy alone. If you have to take someone, take me." So like, and then everything stopped, and then 6 months later, this dude killed the other guy. So it was
Yeah,
just
this will
like,
never stand in the court of law. I mean, well, Nick wouldn't know, so
would
No.
it, Nick?
I'll shut up.
You know what? It's kind of weird because so it depends on what you want the outcome to be. But can you use a possession as a get out of murder card? Yeah, you might be committed, civilly
It'd be
committed.
insanity, right? Like almost like a
You would
insanity plea.
You would think so. That would be the likely outcome. There is like a weird possibility. Look, murder requires basically all criminal acts in English common law systems, particularly the US, would require what's called a mens rea, which is the criminal mindset. You have to have intentionality to do some part of a crime, and without the intentionality of that part of the crime, and where that part lies is like where you get the different levels. So in murder one, first degree murder, you get the intentionality is the intention to kill someone. The predetermined intention. And it doesn't have to be like premeditation, does not have to be like an hour or a week beforehand. It's literally the moment before you've decided not that you're going to harm someone or you're going to shoot them or whatever, you're going to kill them. So you put the gun to their face, you pull the trigger and they die. That's premeditation. That your intentional act is the act of causing the death. And that's where the mens rea lies. In a manslaughter case, the mens rea is in doing the act that leads to the death without the intention to cause death, for example. So you may point a gun towards a direction and pull the trigger and the bullet goes and kills someone. You have intended to fire a gun in a direction that you didn't know was safe and it kills someone. Now you're at manslaughter, right? Or reckless homicide, something like that. If they cannot prove the mens rea element, and this is where insanity comes in typically, then they cannot convict for murder or manslaughter or anything, or any real criminal charge. You cannot be liable for something that you legitimately could not have manifested intent to do. So in theory, if you could provide enough evidence to convincingly show that the person was incapable, due to whatever this possession is, incapable of making that decision, then they cannot be held liable for the criminal act. And if you could subsequently show, and you'd have to convince a jury of this, I mean, of course, if you could subsequently show that the person has been cured of whatever that ailment was, then, you know, maybe there's an exorcism, you have letters from the Vatican, you have a whole bunch of stuff, because the belief in exorcism and the validity of it is still very widespread. It may not be ubiquitous. It may not even be a majority, but it's not out there to run into someone who believes that demonic possession is real and exorcism will happen. I can walk down the street in my town and find multiple people out of 10 random encounters that would believe all of those things. So you just have to manifest enough convincing evidence to prove that to a jury and go for it. Like you could certainly manage it. It's unlikely. Like you're going to be highly skeptical of all of it. And how do you do it? Do you have video? Do you have video of this dude levitating? Like, is it David Blaine? Like, is he scaring black people away? Like, what is he doing?
There was video of the kid, like in the, like I'm saying The Conjuring, but in the documentary, like they had videos of the kid being possessed, or like, well, they didn't actually have videos. They had like pictures and audio tapes of him being possessed and like all this
Right.
stuff like that, because it was in the 80s. And they had like case law from the British, actually British people, but which apparently they cited that like 3 different exorcism cases or whatever, or like 3 different possession cases were heard in British court, and that they all were found not guilty because of possession, like being told that they were possessed.
A big part of that is when you, and I think that The Conjuring, you know, they bring in the Warrens because the Catholics won't do it, right? Like that's who goes to the Warrens, is when the Catholics don't intervene. But if you ignore the Warrens and you go into like what goes into finding a Catholic possession, they have to have a massive amount of evidence. They have to rule out all sorts of other influences like drugs. They have to rule out psychological conditions. They have to have all of this testing done. Oftentimes, you know, this is one of the complaints that families will levy against the church, is that they're refusing to act on this thing that is killing their child or killing their relative. But they gather this huge record, and it then has to go up the chain, I think, to a cardinal, a specific cardinal in charge of all this. And then he makes a determination to send a specialist out to do the examination. And something like 95% of alleged possessions that are examined by this team are determined to not be possessions. So when they actually are willing to label one what they consider a demonic possession, the amount of effort that's gone into it, it's not a flippant thing. And you would bring in your church experts, you would bring in occult experts and demonologists, and you'd be like, hey, this is what they do. I know this is unconventional, but you have to understand that these people spend decades and decades of study and rigorous training going through all of the church history to figure out how to discern between this and something that like maybe bipolar disorder or schizophrenia that couldn't have been labeled back in the 1200s. And we understand those things to be more prevalent now, but this is different. And here's the evidence for it. And they have just stacks of it. And when you put that in front of a jury, they have to really decide, like, do we have to determine that there's either some sort of possession, or that there is so much evidence that it's not anything else, but it is still completely inexplainable by rational human behavior and all observation? Because they also have to observe like a bunch of crazy stuff, like speaking in languages that they cannot know. And that's what they had with the Conjuring kid. Like, this kid is speaking Latin and he's like saying stuff about people in the room who he'd never met. And if I remember right, like
no, that never happened. With him, it was
Thanks,
different.
Nina.
Because you're welcome. Because I just watched the documentary. He never talked.
You ruined the kayfabe.
He never talked about like in different dialects or anything like that.
Sure.
And that's why they made the case that those guys let him on, because like they would come in to talk to him to, like, you know, get his story or whatever. And then like the next day, like the brother would say the next day he would do those things. Like it was as if like he was being led to say the things that like the guy would be like, well, like, when you're possessed by the demon, does he spit? Does he swear at your mom? Does he do this? And then he literally, like, the next day would do the same things that these guys were saying that, you know, that the demon was doing or whatever, which is, I think that, I mean, and I don't know if that is the reason that the courts didn't accept the case, because I still think that they should have accepted the evidence that was put forth, because that was their entire thing, that this guy was possessed because he got secondhand possession from this guy. And then they couldn't put their they couldn't put their evidence in, so they went with not insanity, the other one, self-defense, which did not work, and he went to jail for like a very long time.
Why were you whipping his eyeballs out with your hands and vomiting pea soup into his mouth?
He stabbed the guy several times.
So I have a question though. So Nick, you're talking about the legal qualifications, I guess, in a court of law, whether if someone uses the possession defense. But what does the panel think about? What does the panel think about culpability, like personal responsibility, even if you are a person who believes you were possessed, or in the case of a lot of these satanic panic cases that we were just looking at in the 90s, you believe you have multiple personality disorder and it was your other personality that did something or remembered something. And I still think that's you.
Right. And see, that's the thing. Like this
you're
guy,
responsible for letting
Right,
letting
yeah.
whatever come in and
that
take
Yes.
control.
happened.
Yeah.
That's
See,
not a legal opinion. That's just, like, but you did it.
There is so there's two things legally about that. One would be my theory as a prosecutor for how to overcome that. Like, you were talking about the one guy or in the movie he has some sort of volunteerism to the possession.
Yes.
Mhm.
And so a lot of times your defenses to things in court can be eliminated by voluntary intoxication, right? Like if you are intoxicated, you can be, if you are involuntarily intoxicated, you can be completely absolved of guilt of a whole lot of stuff, including murder, rape, a whole bunch of things can happen. If someone comes up and puts a mind altering substance into your body without your will, like you can actually alleviate liability that way because you're not in a state of mind to do it. And one of the big problems with alcohol, for example, I'll drink some right now and then I'm not responsible for anything because it has impaired my ability to make rational decisions, right? Like, and that is the defense. You cannot manifest intent. But if I am voluntarily ingesting sufficient levels of alcohol to impair my ability to make a decision, I don't get to then use that as a shield because otherwise I could just drink all the liquor I want and go kill people. Because the liquor made me do it or running out of it or whatever. But yeah, the volunteerism would be the counter to that. If you could sufficiently try to raise a possession defense, they're like, yeah, but actually you were like licking a Ouija board while standing on your hands naked. You were asking that demon for it. You're like, this skirt is short, buddy, get in here. And that's what happened. So then, that would be kind of one element of it. The other one is simply like, the civil court system does exist to make whole the loss, even if criminal liability can't attach. So OJ could not be found criminally liable for the death of Nicole Brown Simpson, but he was found by the civil court to be responsible for wrongful death and had to compensate, the remaining victims who lived through the ordeal, her family and stuff like that. So there are remedies that are available, even if we can't attach criminal liability. And a lot of times, that's not, people don't find that sufficient, but it happens a lot. I mean, people get run over and it's an accident, like a pure accident, not negligent homicide, not criminal vehicular homicide. It could just be a really shitty circumstance and someone on a bike gets run over. That happened in our town and they couldn't charge the guy with a crime. Now he probably got just completely boned in the civil suit, but in the criminal element, like he didn't try to kill the guy and he didn't operate negligently. The guy swerved in front of the truck, got run over.
Yeah, it's like if he's driving, if he's riding the bike across the street, but he's not using a crosswalk or anything like that, then I would imagine it's like it's not necessarily going to be on the driver if he winds up hitting him.
Yeah, sometimes it just sucks. Like that's the answer to a lot of that is sometimes it just sucks. So
see, and Keri, to your question, like, because you were asking like whether that takes responsibility away from like the accused or whatever, like the possessed person. And to me, like it's kind of if it's a real possession, I think yes, it does. Because when you're like, if it's a real one, like a true real possession, like you're not yourself, like you're no longer, this is no longer you. It's like it's a demon. It's literally just controlling your body.
I think Keri would say there was and I'll let you say, but like there was steps taken or certain points of free will given up, right?
Yeah, I've recently become interested in this topic. I've been reading this book, Pigs in the Parlor, and some other books about demonic possession and priests who believe in it and about casting out demons. And I think I'm just a person who believes that if there is such a thing as demons, that there's a part of your will that you succumb to that evil, whether you think of it as an entity like a demon or just pure evil. If you look at someone like Dahmer, for example, I'm one of those maybe few people who I believe his conversion in prison. I believe he repented. I believe he was deeply ashamed of what he did.
Really? You think you believe him?
he confessed immediately. He wanted to tell everything, and not in the way that you see some of the serial killers do, where they sort of get off on talking about it again. He confessed. I think he was deeply shameful of what he did. It was almost like listening to an alcoholic talk about what they did in their old life,
Nick's face.
and maybe I'm a weirdo
this morning.
Damn.
but I believe that there's so let's say you're someone like me who believes he really repented, and he's one of the few exceptions who he really felt like awful about this thing that would take him over, and he would talk about it like something that took him over. At the end of the day, though, it's still him. It's still his will giving into that. Whether you believe that's a demon or it's evil, you don't know how to describe evil, or he's just possessed by this animus towards his fellow man, or these just sadistic desires, whatever it is that he's possessed by. For an alcoholic, it's the desire for alcohol. He's still responsible for his willpower and saying, okay, evil, come on in. We're going to do that thing I've been fantasizing about, or we're going to have that drink, or, whatever that thing is. In his case, something really depraved.
Right. And that's so interesting to me. And that's one of the reasons that I've never been even like remotely interested to touch a Ouija board, because I feel like that is one of the conduits that like allows you to be possessed. So I'm like,
That's what happened. Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's happened to you. No, shit.
Has it?
I mean, I played around with a Ouija board back when I was like 15.
Ooh.
And what happened?
13.
Everything is
the rest
explained
of my
now.
life.
Well,
still going on.
Everything just fell into place for me about you. No, I'm just joking.
No, it's it was goofy, but nothing crazy happened. Everybody kind of like got really dramatic about some stuff. I was with some older kids. A sibling was involved or whatever, and so like I was just kind of tagging along. We were playing around with a Ouija board in Paris, because that's how life goes. And it got very dramatic. Like stuff was being spelled out. It was like, no, you're moving it, and then they're answering in French because they're French. But it was not like, nothing happened. It was just like, wow, they freaked out because they're women. And then it was over. Sorry, that's a joke.
Nobody,
Damn.
nobody levitated. Nothing.
No.
Nobody spoke in tongues.
Nothing
Nothing.
happened at all. It was very mundane. They're like freaked out because it started to spell out something. It's like 3 letters in. It's like that. There's still a lot of permutations of words that could have been. I didn't really trust it, but it was I don't know. It was goofy, but nothing cool happened. I'm not saying nothing cool can happen.
Wow, he's saying like demonic possession is nothing cool. Like nothing cool happened. Like nobody got possessed and killed anybody or anything. But
Look, if I got possessed, I have a list of things that I'm going to blame the demon on, and the first one is going to the all-you-can-eat aged meat buffet, right? Like, or as we call it normally, the nursing home. But it's like, you gotta have a list of things. Like, this is my go-to list if this ever happens, and I'm just gonna blame the demon whether I'm lucid or not.
What
would you guys do?
I'm trying to think. What would mine be?
What terrible thing would you blame the demon on that you definitely did?
Bread.
Yeah, Keri.
Bread. like bread, like the baked good bread, or bread like BRED bread.
Oh, bread like the baked, like eating too
Okay.
much. My husband and I were joking. You know that expression, not today, Satan, which is like, you're not getting me today. We want to make a shirt that says not tomorrow, Satan, but today we're going to keep eating the delicious dessert or whatever it is. Like, and lately for us is bread. It's baked goods.
There you go. Yeah.
I should not be eating.
John, what about you? What would you blame a demon on?
You'd be possessed by a demon that doesn't like Judaism.
I've got
the wheat. No, because like bread. Never mind. Leavened bread.
Nina, your show's canceled.
I know. I'm canceled now.
I'm gonna do my stand-up set now, Nina. Just a second.
Please don't. Oh,
okay, sorry. I didn't mean to. What would you do?
No. This is a question I wouldn't even. Basically, all my previous wrong actions, which are plenty.
You don't get to blame old stuff on it. You got to do something new. Like, this is what you would do if you got, like, today you get possessed right after the show, because
Oh, and then I go out and do something horrible, and then I can blame
carte blanche to do whatever. Keri's eating bread. What are you doing? I'm eating old people. I already said that.
Wow. I'm gonna steal cars.
What car?
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
What kind?
Like I'm gonna go Grand Theft Auto style, just like fucking your car.
You steal my car?
Yeah,
that's what I'm asking.
your sweetest car, or like any Corvette, because I love
Okay.
Corvettes.
Oh, me
like
too.
anything, like any Corvette, especially like classic, whatever. Like I just go around, just steal it. Lamborghinis, anything, like anything that I can get my hand on, I'd steal it.
What if someone was like, I'm gonna steal Toyota Avalons, all of them?
Like all the Pintos.
Such a random selection. I'm gonna make a movie that's worse than The Room, and then I'm gonna blame it. I'm gonna blame it on You're
gonna blame it on the demon.
Yes.
Why would you do that to anybody? That's terrible. Okay. What about you, Christy?
We all have our own,
That is morbid.
Hey, what can I say?
I know.
What was the question again?
What would you
Carte
do
blanche
if you could like blame anything that you're gonna do next on a demon? What would you do? Like if you had an excuse?
Oh, I would totally kill my ex.
Wow.
Very, very straightforward answer. Very
Shit just
straightforward.
got really real here, man. Oh my
Absolutely.
god! Wow,
That jackass no fucking hesitation whatsoever.
Wow.
She's like, I would blow his brains out.
Oh, absolutely, I would. And I got 4 guns to choose from.
Wow.
As your spiritual internet lawyer, I advise you to never say that again, just in case.
just in case some other ex-girlfriend gets pissed off and carries it out, right? The cops are gonna pull up Nina's stream here.
Yeah, this is terrible because now it's gonna become evidence. Like this stream just became evidence in like the murder trial of Chrissy's ex-boyfriend.
He lives in Washington State. I haven't seen the guy in like 15.
Stop talking to the guy. No, like oh my
Here's his
God.
address. Here's a list of his fears and his schedule.
Oh, no.
This guy randomly winds up dead.
Oh
I was
my
told
God.
this is going to be a fun Halloween episode. Hi, Chrissy. Nice to meet you.
I thought so too.
You know
Carrie.
what?
Did he
have
get
something-
vaccinated, Chrissy? Did he get
I know
vaccinated?
something that's scary. You know what Nina's favorite movie is?
What?
The Fly.
Oh my God. That is
Jeff Goldblum.
the worst movie that's ever been
She
made.
can't
I hate that
stand
movie
it.
so much.
She hates that movie.
I hate that movie
So good.
so much. And I can't even look at Jeff Goldblum ever again because I think he's the Fly.
It's disgusting.
It's
It
the
is a
worst movie ever
disgusting
made.
movie.
I hate that movie so much. Raider, thank you so much for the $50 just to say dragon. Now, this reminds me of something else I want to discuss with you guys. But Nick, do you want to stay for this next topic or do you want to go?
I have to go, but I did have one other spooky experience
Ooh,
in the old house that I wanted to share. Because this one is genuinely like the other one I can explain. There's logical, irrational sort of explanations that do it. This one I can't do it, and I have a witness. So I'm sitting at the same house, and I'm sitting at my dining room table with my dad, and I'm at the head of the table, and my dad is around the corner, right at the next seat, right, and kind of between us, but back several feet in the corner of the room, is an old rocking chair that belonged to my wife's grandmother. She got it when she passed away. And it's a very basic, mundane, like 1960s rocking chair. You guys have probably seen them. The back, they're a piece of like a wooden rod, and it goes down, and it has just like a Fibonacci sequence curl that goes into the rocker, right? It's all like one wooden piece, and then it's wicker back and a wicker seat, right? And things in fine shape, but it's nothing weird about this thing at all. She didn't die in it or anything creepy. But this thing is sitting there. I'm just talking to my dad. No one is around us, and it rocks. It just goes and stops. And it was not like it didn't sway, right? It rocked like 2 or 3 times and then just stopped. And we're just talking, And I'm like, I'm tall. I have long legs. I'm like, my leg can't reach there. I'm taller than my dad. His leg can't reach there. And I looked at him. I was like, did you see that? He's like, yep. And he's a very level-headed guy. Like, I'm like, the hell was that? He's
Was
like,
there a window open? Like any
Yeah, was
No.
there
air?
any? Yeah.
fan?
No.
Okay.
We didn't have there was a ceiling fan. It's in the next room over. There's no windows in that area. There's a giant sliding glass door, but that thing was closed. We didn't have any indoor cats. There were no kids running around. It's just my dad and I hanging out.
Was there a small earthquake that took place?
It's in
at that
Minnesota,
point?
man. There's no earthquakes that really happen out here. We're just sitting
I
there.
mean, that's a possibility. You know,
Yeah,
if it's
it is
if it's a really
possible.
small one.
But no. And we're sitting there and it's like, I don't know. And he's like, what do you do? I'm like, don't tell my wife.
No,
Because
I
she'll
believe.
freak
I
out. Like,
believe
she'll go
this.
nuts.
I believe this too. Of
I've
course.
had
Yeah.
weird things like that, sort of innocuous, but you can't explain them happen. So
But
Yeah.
you lived in the murder house, didn't you? Or like right, like 5 minutes away from it, Keri?
oh, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
11 minutes from here.
Cool.
Yeah. So do you have any like creepy stories about that? Like,
No, I mean, we went to see that. We drove by that house because we heard it was near here, and they have prison like security around it and floodlights and everything. No, our house, we call it the haunted house, although we did have a priest come over and bless it.
oh my god, you
and-
did? That's pretty
Oh
cool.
yeah, he did the holy water in every room, and but yeah, just weird things like that, like the rocking chair one. This is probably the weirdest one that's happened in this house, but I don't actually think it's something bad. When I was here one night, my husband was on the road, and we have this 3-panel Asian piece of art, one of those 3-panel pieces that folds up, and you can hang it on the wall or set it on the floor like a room screen, rather large.
Mhm.
And I heard this crash around 3 or 4 a.m., which they call the witching hour.
Yeah.
And it fell off the wall. But here's the weird thing. It didn't fall on me and my dog, like flat on us. It didn't fall that way at all. It basically, the way it landed on the floor when I got up, it was basically like it picked itself up off the wall and moved over and set itself down completely straight up behind, like sitting behind the furniture, behind the night table. There's no way it fell that way.
Ooh, that
Even
is
if it
so
swung
creepy.
off the wall, it would have hit us. I don't know how that happened. How did it tumble and then land perfectly straight up and down? So that was one of the weird things that happened. But I was like, I don't think it's a bad entity. I'd rather think
It's
maybe
Casper.
maybe something bad. Maybe the painting was going to fall, and then God said, "Nope, we're going to move it over and not let it hit you."
Oh my god, that's so
Something
cool.
good.
It was like
Right.
Casper the friendly
Right.
ghost saved you. That's so cool.
But yeah, but those weird things like that.
I love
I don't
those
know.
kind of stories, man. Like those things like creep me out. The same thing with your rocking chair, Nick. Like, and also rocking chairs. I gotta say, I fucking love rocking chairs. I don't care. I am so getting one as soon as I hit, 50 years old, which is probably tomorrow. I will be getting one very soon because I think they're like the most comfortable things ever made. And I love them very much. Ian So Forth, thank you so much for the very generous 50. Says I hate The Fly. The original footage of that help me scene needs to be tracked down and destroyed. Thank you, Ian. Thank you. It's the worst movie. Like, I fucking hate this movie. And like Jeff Goldblum's like disgusting face turning into The Fly is just like burned in my mind forever. I can't even watch Jurassic Park without thinking like, like just get that guy off the
You've
screen.
talked about watching Dr. Pimple Popper.
I can't. I cannot watch that shit. That's disgusting. I cannot watch those, but I can watch horror movies. I like regular horror movies. I just
I
don't like
wonder
The
if
Fly.
Goldblum's wife, like I'm sure he's married or he's been married, like saw The Fly and then had that association. And maybe it just, I don't know.
Is he married still? I mean, I would see.
If
a
not, we
divorce
know
in that
why.
picture. Yeah, exactly. It was so creepy. I have seen the movie. That is why it's disgusting to me. Mind you, okay, I did watch the movie like when I was very small. So, and then after that, I was like, I'm never watching this again.
I'm sure the
Nick,
scene where he starts throwing up was one of your favorite parts, though.
no, it was like the part where his like actual face was falling off. And it was like, you know, he was like turning into the fly. Oh, ugh, I can't even think about it. It was so freaking gross. Nick, you have to go. I love you. Thank you for coming by tonight
Yeah,
and
thanks for
sharing all
having
your
me.
creepy stories. And
You want two last ones that take just like 30 seconds that are all like tied
yes,
to everything?
of
Okay.
course.
So this involves two separate kids of mine. My second son and my second daughter. I have 5 kids, 2 boys, 3 girls. My second son and my second daughter. At that old house, my second son would get these piercing headaches as a little kid, like 2 and 3 years old, something like a migraine. But he was a kid; he couldn't really articulate like what that was. But when he would get it, would always be at night while he was sleeping, and he would describe a red piercing light in his room in the same spot that we could never see, never identify or anything. And it would be around until we moved out of that house, and then he never talked about it again. And then my daughter would see, she was younger. She's 4 years younger than him. She would get terrified all the time of quote unquote of the black things. And we did not live in Chicago.
Whoa.
So
Whoa,
it was
whoa.
some sort of like thing that she would see in the house. And I mean, she was horrified of them. And the moment we moved, never again, never, not a mention of it. And it was up until the day we moved. She would, because we moved in what, 20? I'm trying to think of what year we moved. It would have been 2017. I think how old she was. She would have been like 6 or something like that. And so she would have, she was, you know, for several years she saw these things, and then it was the day we moved, got into the new house, never talked about them again.
These black things, did she describe what they were? Like, did they was it like a spider creature, or did it look like
It sounded just like a shape,
humanoid?
like some shape of some sort, and it was always in the plural. It was never in the singular. So it wasn't like a shade person. It was always multiple, whatever she saw. And I mean, we're talking lights on, lights off. She would just get horrified. Like we would have to console her all the time. But I have no idea like what that was about and why it immediately stopped. But it did. So
Damn.
so that was
so creepy. I love it.
so that's all I got.
You, Nick. Thank you for all the crazy, creepy stories. I love it.
welcome.
And have a good stream. Everybody go check out Nick Riqueda's, of course, locals. You've got, just plug your ways.
You can find me any platform that I'm on, Riqueda Law. Locals, YouTube, Rumble, Instagram, I don't know, TikTok. Some of those are actually going to get active in just a second if I just get less lazy, because I have a giant backlog of Reels content that's coming. Like, I don't know, a lot of it, like hundreds of them that I just never have posted. So you can follow me anywhere that you enjoy your media, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for having me, Nina, and nice to talk to all of you. Good to see you again, Keri. It's been a while.
You, Nick. Yeah, take care.
Nice
Happy
to meet
Halloween.
you, John and Chrissy.
Yeah, likewise, Nick.
Bye.
Take care,
Bye.
man. Bye.
Bye. So yeah, check out Nick Riqueda's. Links are in the description. And you know, it's so weird because he said that about the black things. Okay, so I have a creepy story because it reminded me of my creepy story.
Okay.
And it's not racist. Don't laugh, Chrissy. Go ahead. I said
That's
Chrissy.
trying so hard not to.
No, but it's weird, okay? But it's like, it's real though. So now this could be a dream. It could have been a dream. It's true. Like, cause it could have, you know, cause it was like a lucid dream. So when, I don't know if you guys have ever had a lucid dream before, but it's kind of like when you're like float out of your body and you can see yourself and like, just, you know, you experience everything, but as like, kind of like a ghost, I guess.
Like a third person.
Like a third person. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so this one night I started lucid dreaming, and it used to happen to me a lot more often than now. I don't do it anymore, especially after this event. Basically, I kind of stopped. But one night I was lucid dreaming and I like floated out of my body. And as I floated out, I saw this creature that was like literally like above our bed, because like our bed was like this and it was across our bed above the window, and it was like stuck on the wall like a spider, and it was a dark creature and it had no face. So it had like a blank face, and it was staring at me, like and my husband, obviously. And I woke up like because it was just like looking at us, and I was just like, at like my lucidness that was dreaming it saw it, and then it looked like kind of made eye contact with me, but there was no eyes though, because I was just seeing its face because it had a blank face. And then I like went right back in my body and I started screaming, like woke up just screaming and like being like, it's over there, like watching us. And like I was like fucking going crazy. And my husband woke up obviously and was like, what the hell's going on? And like I was freaking out. Let's just say I was freaking out. And no, it wasn't after I had an acid trip or anything. We were sleeping. There was no drinking going on. There was no drugs, no nothing. I was never on like Ambien or something like that. This was a very regular night of just going to bed, and then that happened, and I was like, like it was just very real because it was such a like it was a lucid dream. So it was very real and very creepy. So I believe in those like
Creepy. Yeah.
weird creatures. And like it was really weird too because I heard like I don't know if you guys have ever heard that song before, like that's like Creep. I think it's Creep by
Radiohead.
no, not that one. The one that's like the Spider-Man is having me for dinner tonight. That one.
No,
That
Not that one.
I thought of the Radiohead one, John.
Yeah, that's my
I don't think it's called that actually. Hold on. Let me it's Lullaby. It's Lullaby by The Cure. And I was like, when I listened to the lyrics of that song, I was like, that's the fucking creature. Like he's singing about the same thing that we saw, or like I saw. And like I heard this song.
It was pretty
later on.
the dream was extremely vivid. Like it
so
seemed
vivid. Like it was like
very real.
it
you
was so real.
Like, do you think you were tapped into some like the spirit realm or something?
I
Like,
think so.
where you were able to see it, or do you think it was just or do you think it's possible that it could have just been something that you're, just an extremely vivid dream?
I don't know. It could be both. Like that's
Yeah.
one of the things is because I think that creatures like that do exist. And we just don't see them. Like I think that they're like I believe that like there's alternate dimensions that we just cannot have the capability of seeing, but there's creatures that live in these dimensions that are there all the time. Now sometimes they're evil and they do want to mess with us, and sometimes there's bleed throughs, or like that's why like paranormal things happen. So I think like maybe I happen to be in either the spirit realm or like kind of like the dreaming place, like the kind of the in between.
Yeah.
So and then I was able to see this creature for a brief moment, and then
Was that in the place where you live now?
No, this was in Canada. And like,
did you do anything afterwards to like cleanse your house?
Yes, I did a lot of sage burning, and I like I did a lot of like weird stuff that Iranian people do. So I cleansed the house as well as I could. I mean, I didn't know any preachers or anything to be like, come bless my house, but no, I just like we call it Dud Esfand. So if there's any Persian people know what I'm talking about, but it's like basically sage is the same thing as Esfand. And so I just like burned it, and I like walked around the house, like thought of good things and was like, get out of my house. I don't want you here. And, just, I don't want your evilness in this house, that kind of thing. But,
have you guys heard of Derek Prince?
No.
Yeah.
John, you have.
Yeah, he's kind of in the Christian circle.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was a preacher who his whole thing was about casting out demons. So I said I had just started reading about this stuff this year, and you can go online and still watch these really popular videos with him. He's dead now, but before he passed away, I mean, he would do ministry all over the world and cast demons out of people, and he wrote several books about it. And I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know if I believe it. But just in case, I think some of those things that it says to do are probably a good thing, especially if you have an experience like that where you think you see this evil entity, in a dream or for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I asked if you did anything afterwards.
I want to know about this person now more though. Like, okay, do you have? Seems like they've written a lot of books.
He's written a lot of
Yeah.
books, and they shall cast out demons, I think, is one. And you can go on YouTube and watch some of the old casting out sessions where he walks people through how to do it. And he describes demons as sort of like you could have a demon of anger, or you could have a demon of murder, or a demon of resentfulness, and he sort of talks about how once you've let one in, they bring their buddies, and then they're usually
Oh
a company.
no.
So yeah, so if you have, for example, he'll say, a demon of hopelessness, or that it might bring in the demon of self-deletion and things like, they bring in, they travel
Wow.
in packs. He talks about it.
They
And
travel in packs. I believe stuff like that.
like in the
too.
Bible, he takes it all back to scripture. He points out all the different times that Jesus cast out demons. And so his belief was that if you are a minister of the word, that part of your job should be casting out demons. And so I had never encountered a preacher like this. I just started watching him, reading some of this stuff this year. And then I watched some of his videos, and it's definitely interesting. At the
That's
very least, it's interesting.
fascinating. That's fascinating stuff. Yeah, it's like not quite like demonic possession, but like spirit possession, where you're like they basically kind of like whisper things that are not quite like, go kill somebody, but it's like, you want to be sad because so that they could so they excuse me, you can feed them through your emotional energy, because that's how they feed. It's like they want to feed through like, you being sad or angry or like whatever. They just like feed on emotional energy or psychic energy. So they just kind of like feed off of you. They're like leeches that kind of stick to you. I could
Right.
see it. I
And
like
his process, one last thing about him, his process of casting out a demon from yourself, or having a preacher do it for you, involves you saying by name everybody who's done you wrong and forgiving them.
Ooh.
That's a weird part of the process. The other stuff might sound more familiar. Like he tells you to get rid of anything like tarot cards or anything that he considers something that has to do with the occult from your house, to burn them, anything you might have that he thinks is related to the occult. So there's things like that you might say, okay, sure. If someone believes in demonic possession, they would say that. But the forgiveness part was interesting to me. So I was thinking, for some of these people for whom it worked, quote unquote worked, does it matter if it was an actual entity possessing them or not? If it worked, if they went through this thing related to kind of like in AA, you make amends with everyone, step 4, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going through this psychological process of really wanting this, let's say you have let's say this guy tells you, oh, you have a demon of hopelessness and we're going to get rid of it. And part of it involves you going through your whole life and everyone who's wronged you and making amends, sort of in out loud, forgiving them. Does it matter if it was an actual entity or not, if it works?
No, I don't think it does. I mean,
Well, I think too, there's a difference. I'm sorry, Nina. I'll just
no. Go ahead, John.
I think there's definitely like a difference between, the idea of like possession and affliction, like an actual demon being in somebody, and then, a demon in somebody's ear. Like, again, this is kind of, just talking about this stuff is a little bit, but I think even biblically though, it is, there does seem to be a difference in terms of like, people that are actually possessed, and then there are people that are like afflicted, and then there's just the tactical methods of demons and devils. Again, just the idea of like whispering in the ear, that sort of idea of more like just influencing through a variety of different ways.
Well, and what you said to me, Keri, right now was fascinating too, because in my culture we have stuff like that as well, like old, like ancient Persian culture, not the Islamic one, because that's a little bit different, but like there's things that we believe, like for example with regards to jinn or like spirit possessions or demons or whatever. Like one of the things that they tell you is like that I've been taught is, for example, it says to hate someone or like to not forgive someone that has done you wrong, especially if you keep that within yourself, you dirty your own blood. Like it's like there's a translation, like a direct translation is like you don't want to keep your blood dirty, so you got to let those things go and you have to forgive. And in that instance, like in those kind of instances, I feel like it's true, because if you don't, like, that's why they say forgiveness is for yourself, not for the other person.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, like, if you hang on to those things, like if you hang on to those negative feelings and those like really like just dark thoughts, you're the one that becomes corrupted, and you're the one that just suffers like endlessly through this thing. So that's why they say, I think that's what they say, forgiveness is for yourself. And that's why I try to forgive everyone that's done me wrong.
Me too. It just takes a long time.
Yeah, it takes
some people.
Yeah, I don't think it's like a one and done sort of thing. It seems like it's a process.
Yes.
It's definitely a process. And even like to this day, some of the people I like, I think I've forgiven. And sometimes I think about them, I'm like, those assholes. And then I'm like, wait, I'm supposed to have forgiven them. Like, and I just like, and I'm like, okay, no, never mind. I've forgiven them. It's okay. Like, it was part of the lessons and blah, blah, blah. And like moving on. But it's weird, because that's what human psychology is, right? Like the hurt and like the fact that you want to like hang on to that. I think it's just fascinating in some aspects. And then just real quick, let me get this super chat here. Power Cat Greg, thank you so much for the $5. Says, possible you saw a Nephilim spirit, Nina. Wow, I don't even know what that means, but okay. Nina, if you were on the spirit side, I've seen demons in my dreams, and they're disgusting, different kinds. Wow. Fascinating. I'm gonna have to look up Nephilim spirit.
Isn't the Nephilim this mythical creature that's like half angel, half human?
That's what I was thinking.
Right?
That's what I thought. I've heard like Nephilim being half angel, half spirit, or something like that, or also giants. I've heard Nephilim.
Oh,
being
giants. Yes. Okay, giants.
So I don't know if like it's like because this thing wasn't a giant. This was it was a kind of like Slender Man. It was more like Slender Man, and it looked like a spider because it was like on the wall upside down. It was
it white?
No, it was black. That's why when Nick said the dark things, it reminded me of it. It's still like burned in my memory. Like that's how, and it was like it was pure darkness. It was pure black, and it had no face. It was very frightening. It was a very frightening experience. Like I don't think I'll ever forget it.
Do you know the it's so funny because I was going to ask you that. I just looked up Nephilim, and they have a Hieronymus Bosch painting here. Are you familiar with him?
Share your screen. Let's see it.
Can I do that here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be able to. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, hold on.
I think it says present.
Okay,
There it is.
So this is saying that yes, their origins disputed. They're mysterious beings in the Hebrew Bible who are described as being large and strong. The Hebrew word for Nephilim is sometimes translated as giants and sometimes taken to mean the fallen ones. Their origins are disputed. Some view them as offspring of fallen angels and humans, but others view them as offspring of the descendants of Seth and Cain. But you see this little Hieronymus Bosch thing here? His art is so trippy.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it is.
And it's full of creatures like you may have seen on your ceiling in your nightmare.
It didn't have any wings. I can tell you that, because that
Okay.
thing has wings. It had no wings. It had no horns. It was very slender. Like it was very, very thin, and it had no. That's all I remember is it had no face, but it had a mouth because I could see it. Like it was so creepy. It was just a very, very unsettling creature.
Yeah, I think there's also in terms of the Nephilim, and I mean I do think this is kind of it is like one of those gray areas where it's not necessarily defined. Like that's why it's been disputed for so long. Obviously, if it was very clear cut in terms of like who the Nephilim were, there wouldn't be any debate about it. But this is the thing that Christians seem to debate a lot about. But there is a verse in Jude that talks about how like the angels left their first estate and essentially mingled with the human race. So there is that particular like New Testament verse, which is it's odd because it's like, well, how would something like that work? Because how could angels intermix with people. But that is what some people will say. That's how you get these giants, and you get like these, maybe even some of these mythical beings, even from like the, perhaps like the Greek culture and throughout history, like these cyclopses or people with winged feet or whatever. Who knows? I mean, it's so it's, but it is one of those things where it is heavily disputed in terms of like who exactly are the Nephilim or the giants. And yeah,
it's fascinating stuff to like speculate about, though. And this is very similar to the thing I saw. Like I think the closest man is the Slender Man, except the Slender Man has like white face. The thing I saw had like pitch black face and no eyes. It was kind of like similar to this thing, but except it was like pitch black.
Creepy. Yeah.
And it had like, it didn't have like tentacles like this, but it had like arms, and it was like, it was like on the wall. It was very creepy. It was a very creepy thing, but look, I think the Slender Man is the closest thing that I can describe to it being a thing. It was really weird.
It also
a weird thing.
It also sounds a little bit like some of the descriptions of people who've seen or claim to have seen aliens.
Oh my
A little
god,
bit,
maybe it was.
Except they weren't black; they were like white, but that sort of
the gray, yeah, the
gray
grays
men,
too.
right?
Yeah, grays, but usually grays have like giant
Big
eyes, yeah, and like and then they're more like described as like having like pitch black eyes that are usually very like kind of like you can see the stars in them, but they're like just kind of like the bug eye weird thing. Yeah, it was Black Slender Man. It's exactly what it was. It was really weird. Borg Pork for $2 says there's an I Am Jesus Christ video game. Okay, is it fun? Have you played it? Has anyone here played it? I've never even heard of it. But okay, speaking of weird things and like going on the same theme as crazy people and crazy times, this dude is for real a devil, and he's trying to turn himself into human Satan. This stuff is like, I wonder sometimes if people like this are spirit possessed as well. Like, I think to myself, like, there has to be a thing where these people like really want to become something like this. You would have to be possessed or something to do this. But this dude, and I heard about this guy a long time ago, but when I first heard about him, he had just gotten his like eyes tattooed and stuff like that. But apparently now he's also removed 3 fingers to turn his hands into claws.
And self mutilation is a serious, like that's when you're all in, whether or not it's like one of these, somebody that's trans and they're going all the way. You know what I mean? Like that's a level of commitment. You believe in what you're doing. When you're willing to chop something off.
This guy's messed up. There is pictures of his mutilated hand. I don't really
I just saw one. I just looked him up. It's terrible.
Gross.
Man, oh man.
Should I show it?
No.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's literally done this. He's literally
why
done
do I
this.
have to look this stuff up?
Now you have to.
Because it's Halloween, Chrissy.
Because you look at it and you're like, how could someone do this to themselves?
Exactly the reason why I looked it up, and now I regret it.
Because this is what this world has come to. Is like, and that's what I think. Like, this is where I don't know. I don't know if this is it just mental illness, or is it spirit / demonic possession? Because it could be like it could be one of those spirit things we're talking about, Keri. Like, it's telling him like, you want to look like this, like you want to mutilate yourself. Like,
I think it's both. I think a lot of what gets characterized as mental illness is, well, I think we mix in a lot of things under that umbrella of like, what is mental illness?
mm-hmm.
And I think things like like normal human things that everybody might experience at different points for good reason, like depression or anxiety, or these states of being that are temporary. I think those are really different from things like personality disorders. And I think people who have personality disorders, in my opinion, that's more akin to possession. I don't have a lot of I don't really view them as afflicted. I know that there's this whole thing about like, destigmatize BPD and all this stuff, and I can understand some of that, but I think possibly some of those things should be shamed. A lot of those behaviors are shameful, and I think people like the fact that they're under the people who have those character disorders, personalities. They like the fact that they're under the mental illness umbrella, because then it's sort of like, I can't help it. This is just how I am.
Yeah, it's the carte blanche that Nick was talking about. It's like, that's why they use like the possession thing as an excuse to go murder somebody. It's like, oh yeah, I was just possessed. Like, I didn't mean to kill the guy.
Yeah, it's kind of like a victim mentality or mindset of, well, I'm not. It's not my. Basically, you're absolving yourself of personal responsibility.
Yeah,
in some way.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I would say you when I think of like demonic possession, I do think of somebody that has like lost all control, to some extent. Like they are truly like unruly and definitely not fit for society. I guess people with personality disorders, I don't know if I would necessarily say that they're like possessed is such a strong word. But there could be definitely something going on there though, beyond, just a scientific explanation. That's always possible, I think.
Yeah, and I guess that's kind of like the question, right? Like the supernatural is like, when does it enter the picture? Like where does mental illness end and like, the supernatural begin? And I think those are the fascinating things about all of these discussions about like, whether it's exorcisms or like whatever, because like that's what The Exorcist was about as well, right? It was about like a true exorcism of someone who was supposedly possessed. I mean, we never really know, but if you like I said before, like if you believe in the one thing, you got to believe in the other. That means both exist. So it's just those things fascinate me. Your name is very interesting.
Want me to say it? Okay.
Ask Pennies. Thank you for the $5. It says, not forgiving someone is akin to holding hot coals and hoping the other person gets burned. I like that saying. That's a good saying.
Yeah, I think somebody also said it like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. It's the same thing,
Yeah, kind of. Wait, what are you talking about, Keri, in the private chat?
Oh, it's just another heavily tattooed guy who just keeps going down this route. And how long until he looks like the Satan guy? Because I kind of feel like he's the type who just can't stop, and he's taken it to the extreme. His whole body's covered now, so now, like his legs and everything are covered. It's beyond.
Wow.
He's the
Avatar guy.
Yeah,
Avatar guy. I don't know. Do you think he's gonna like maybe like I could see it like maybe he's gonna get like the yellow tattooed eyes and shit. Like I could see him turning himself into a Nabu or whatever the hell it is. What are they called? Navi.
He's totally gonna do that. Where does he go from here? Because this doesn't even show his sleeves are finished, his legs. There's nowhere left to tattoo.
His entire body is painted in it. Like I know that.
Do you think the nether region?
Yes.
Oh my god! I didn't even think of it.
It's so painful.
Look at the nips.
The nips sticking out. It's pretty funny.
Wow. I think he got a little red touch up on those nips.
He must have. Hold on. Let's pull up the picture of him. That's like
Is he gonna get the
whole body.
modification? Is he gonna like get the ears or the
Come on, you know he will in a couple years. We're gonna see it.
going all the
I
way?
could see it. I could see him definitely like getting his eyes tattooed or whatever, like becoming like a true knobby.
Well, there's a such thing as tattoo addiction, right? Where like once people get going, they just can't.
Oh my
They
god,
can't
there's a
stop?
picture of his ass.
Put it in the private chat.
Oh my god, hang on. I gotta show you guys. This is crazy.
I don't think you can show an ass on YouTube.
You can show ass if they're
A
wearing
full ass?
if they're wearing like a thong, which this guy is.
All right.
I can't believe this guy's wearing a freaking thong for this. You sent me down this rabbit hole, Keri. I hope
Sorry.
you're happy.
Yeah, you did it with the Satan tattoo guy.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on.
Keri
got-
just had to lighten it up a little bit, like this.
I know that's true.
It's definitely
Hold on.
yeah. This is the other
I can't
side of the
believe I'm waiting
spectrum.
to see a picture of an ass.
Hold on. It's gonna happen.
Somebody in your chat's really funny. Somebody said permanent blue balls.
They're not wrong. They're not wrong because he's got permanent blue ass. So
Wow.
See?
That's a conversation starter. Can you imagine? Can you imagine his pickup line to the chicks, to the women?
oh my god.
Have you ever been with a guy who has a blue ass?
Oh my god. This guy has
Is that a tattooed thong?
no, he's wearing
No.
Is that a real
thong.
thong? Okay, I don't. Okay, this is enough.
Okay.
I think everybody is.
That's
Everybody's seen
amazing.
enough.
Wait, there was more though. Hang on.
It's enough.
John.
No, you have to see this, John. This is
John's like,
amazing.
I've seen enough. Stop.
No, this is gonna come into your dreams.
Is there
tonight. This
is there some chick that's going all the way with the avatar tattoos? Or
I
is it
don't
just-
know, but this
Is
is
it just the
this,
guys that
not.
don't have any sense?
What the hell?
this is
Yeah,
like
see?
before he'd done the whole thing.
He got the
Oh,
whole
man.
thing done. That's why I think
So-
he's definitely gonna do body modification next because there's nowhere else to tattoo.
But this is the tricky thing where it's just like, we're gonna say like this one guy. The one guy is like, could be demon possessed, but is this guy just being silly and making silly decisions? And then if he is, could it be very well true for the other guy, just in a very different way?
Yeah.
I mean,
Just throwing it
That's a good
out there. I'm
question.
not,
That's a good
I'm
question.
not
it's
like,
a good question, but you
I'm
know
not-
what? This guy's so crazy, John. That he
Obviously,
bought
I
a
don't,
car. He bought a truck that's fucking Avatar too. I mean,
'cause
come
this is
on.
just like,
This
this
dude
is-
is next level. This is like the ultimate Avatar fan. Like, I mean, can you imagine? Like, how much does this guy like Avatar? Like, I can't imagine liking anything this much, like ever, to commit to it like this way.
I mean,
I don't know.
Is it
Okay.
like a big publicity stunt? I mean, it's a costly one, that's for sure.
And let me tell you something that's more amazing. Because I when I first heard of this guy, I was like, how does he date? But he's married and has a kid. And so I
He's
just
married.
Yeah.
Is he married to a woman that's also blue?
I don't think so. I think she just doesn't mind that he's really into this movie.
Oh, she's like accepted him for his crazy.
yeah, but that's thousands and thousands of dollars.
That's a lot of that's like the kid's freaking college
That's a
fund.
lot of money.
I'm
Yeah.
so confused. I can't even I don't know. I want to know more about his wife.
It's a wild world.
I'm
out
so
there, man.
fascinated
A
now.
wild world.
Oh my god. That's crazy.
I mean, does he hold James Cameron in almost like a divine?
yeah, like
You
is
know,
that
right?
is James Cameron like his god? Like what would happen if he met James Cameron? Would he be like would he just like get down on his knees and start being like, "Oh my god, you're amazing." Like that's so crazy.
Yeah, I mean, this is
goes
incredible devotion towards just a film.
So
What if the sequel sucked? What if he thought the sequel was bad? Like,
It's not even over.
oh, that's right. Yeah.
There's
Wait,
like,
it's not out?
well, there's like 3 more movies coming out, no? Or like at least 2 more.
Well, hell, I didn't watch the first 2, so
I don't
I
know.
don't
I
give
think
a
there's
shit.
2 more. I don't know. Chat, how many more Avatars is coming out? I think it's supposed to be like a 5 movie thing, maybe 6 movies. And
I mean,
this
I
will be like
definitely
2.
didn't think the movie was good enough to get my like a full body tattoo of any of the characters or any of it.
I've never liked a movie enough to tattoo anything on my body. I've never liked anything enough to tattoo it on my body. I've just never been a tattoo person. Do you guys have tattoos? Keri, do you have a tattoo?
Yeah.
when I turned 18, on
Oh, yeah.
the day of my 18th birthday, that kind of thing, I got 2 tattoos.
You got okay, so you guys got tattoos. See, I've never liked anything enough to like tattoo it on my body.
I think the question is if there is a movie that, of course, you want to get the tattoo, but if you had to get a tattoo of a movie, what movie would it be?
Good question.
Oh, that's a good question.
Well, when I was younger and had a lot of bad ideas, and I really wanted to get a Doctor Who tattoo, and I
Aw.
was gonna get the TARDIS on my arm, and thank God my ex-husband told me not to, because it was like, basically you're gonna have a tattoo of a phone box on your arm. Like, what happens when you don't you're not that into the show anymore? And I couldn't imagine not being into the show, and then what happened? Not into the show.
Oh my god. They
I'm so
ruined
glad
it.
I didn't get it. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Also, just because even if the show hadn't gotten bad, I mean, at
Still
the
like
end
a
of the day,
phone booth?
Yeah.
yeah, it's a TV show.
Yeah.
It's so weird. We at the end of our pop culture show every Wednesday night, when there's time, Mystery Chris and I do a tattoo segment. That's how we end every show, if there's time.
Oh.
And we basically look up and see if people have tattoos of the things we talked about in that episode.
Oh, that's
when-
funny.
It's so funny because every topic you can think of, there's people who have tattoos of Will Smith slapping Chris Rock.
No.
Yes.
No
That's
freaking
great.
way. Now
Yes.
I'm looking it up.
Anything. And so some of the weirdest pop culture things, though, like there are some, okay, it's a band or whatever we talked about in this episode. Of course, people are going to have it. But people have things you wouldn't expect. Like one night we talked about Gone with the Wind. People have epic scenes of car
Clark Gable
tattooed and Clark, like all on their chest, like the craziest pop, like really dedicated to.
Wow, like Gone with the
culture
Wind
thing.
tattoos. That's kind
Yeah.
of crazy.
Anything you
Man.
can think of.
Wizard of Oz, that's definitely going to came out the
Mm-hmm.
same year, but that you can imagine there's Wizard of Oz tattoos for sure.
Yeah.
Star
This
Wars
is actually
tattoos.
frightening. This is actually frightening. That somebody would go and get a Chris Rock
I told
slap.
you.
Okay, like that is
multiple people. Like
I told
that is like that's crazy.
I cannot believe
I like the third one because that's great.
Oh my god.
so
I
wild, man.
cannot believe this is a thing. I mean,
Any topic.
you're right though. Like this is
I'm
mean,
trying to think of a
it's good
random.
art.
What's something random that we could just like a random film, like almost like The Room. You
The
know darn
Room.
well people have tattoos. The Room.
They
There's
do. We've
no
looked
So
that one.
notorious.
John, we've looked that one up
Okay.
before. They do.
All right, a movie came into my mind. A random movie, Time Cop. Does anybody out there have a movie or a tattoo of Jean-Claude Van Damme, Time Cop? I will be shocked. This was just such a random middle of the road movie that is kind of forgettable. Like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, that's kind of iconic. I could see somebody having a tattoo of that.
I don't see a
Ghostbusters.
Time Cop tattoo.
Okay.
Okay. I think I do.
You do?
Yeah,
Oh
you
my
tell
gosh,
me if
share
this
my
is
screen.
okay. John,
Let
I
me
don't
share
I
your
don't
screen.
know the movie Time Cop, so you tell me if this is from
I've
it.
never even seen the movie, but it's just a movie that popped in my head, and I'm like, okay.
I would totally get a tattoo.
See-
One of my favorite movies is Return of the Living Dead. I would totally get Trash or like.
Wait, is
yeah.
that I don't remember that dog.
I think her
being
sound
in
dropped
Time-
out. It did for me. Or maybe I'm
Chrissy-
frozen.
No, you're not
we can hear.
frozen.
Yeah.
No, we can see it.
Okay, so on the right here it says this is my tattoo of a healed shot of my buddy Lucas Time Cop / Iron Maiden pug.
I don't remember that in Time Cop.
Okay. I don't
Cat,
know.
is this a Time Cop tattoo?
Is it, or is it like a mixture of both of them?
Of Time Cop and Iron Maiden.
Maybe.
That's a weird
'Cause
thing.
so is that his dog or is his buddy Lucas's dog?
Oh, his buddy Lucas's tattoo.
Okay.
His buddy Lucas got this. I don't know. Anyway.
Nomad from Rumble says that is not from Time Cop.
Okay.
Okay. So there we go. We found
Jean-Claude
something.
Van Damme, though, I guarantee somebody's got a tattoo out there of that.
Unlimited Power has been a member for 2 months. Thank you. Says, I want a How to Train Your Dragon tattoo. Is there a way to test the needle first? What do you mean? If there's a way to test the needle first? Ow. I don't think you can do that. You actually want a How to Train Your Dragon tattoo? You know, there's a live action movie coming out for that. I heard
live action. They're doing the Disney thing?
Astrid is race swapped in it. She's black now.
How the hell are you going to have a live action dragon fucking movie?
Well, the dragons will be CG, and everybody else will be alive.
That's stupid.
It is.
So yeah,
Is this not Time? That's not Time.
It's not Time.
Not kind, but no, but that's
Jean-Claude Van
Jean-Claude.
Damme. Yeah, quite a few tattoos.
There's a lot of
Isn't that funny?
Jean-Claude tattoos. Look at that guy's entire back is Jean-Claude tattoos.
No, absolutely.
This looks
no.
pretty rough too.
Oh, that looks terrible. Like, why would you do this? At least that one's really nice.
No, it's not.
Well, like, I mean, it's nice art, like, compared to the other one.
I think the craziest person that we've ever seen tattooed on a person on the show, and you guys may already know this one, but it's that SNL guy. He has Hillary Clinton tattooed on him.
No.
What's his name? The one who has borderline personality disorder.
Pete
Holmes.
Okay.
No, I was going to say somebody else.
No,
Is it-
okay.
no.
I just found
Is
the
it Pete
craziest
Holmes?
tattoo of all time.
Not Pete Holmes. Sorry. Somebody in the chat knows. The one with BPD.
Is it the guy? The one that dated the Kardashian?
Yes, that guy. Pete Davidson.
Davidson?
Davidson.
Pete
Yeah.
Davidson. Look up Pete Davidson Hillary Clinton tattoo. It's
Okay,
ridiculous. It's that to me.
he
I was like,
drunk or
no.
I'll look that up in a second, but this is
Sorry.
probably the most ridiculous tattoo I've ever seen.
no fucking way.
Someone got a tattoo of Fauci. What the hell?
Yeah, I'm against
Wait, what was that guy's name again?
murder, but or just like capital punishment for tattoos, but we can make an exception for that one.
Oh, that's terrible. Okay, what was that guy's name? Pete Davidson? Pete Davidson,
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a very serious
Hillary
tattoo.
Clinton tattoo. Okay. Let's
I mean,
see.
did he lose a bet? I mean,
Oh my god. Why would you do this to
No, he posted about it, Christy, and said that he wanted to get a tattoo of his hero. Thanks for being one of the strongest people in the universe and such a badass.
oh, please share the photo.
Are you
Nina.
gonna share it? Oh my
Here it is.
gosh. It's
Wow.
It is the spooky Halloween
That
show.
doesn't even
my
look like
God.
her.
did he get it on his arm? Is that on his
Yeah, it
forearm?
looks like his arm. I think that's a sleeve there.
Wow.
Oh
Well,
my
he's
What's wrong with
got-
her mouth?
It looks awful. Like it's not even a good
No.
like tattoo drawing of her. It's terrible. Like what is going on with this?
You can tell it's her, but yeah, it's not the best rendition. It's not very
God.
accurate.
Wow. Oh my god. See, now you've got me into this thing.
Sorry.
I
Okay, we're done.
I
Sorry.
wonder if there's a George W. Bush tattoo.
Yes, of course there is. I'm telling you.
What?
You could do this
There's
all
a
night.
tattoo of everything. Yeah, there's gotta be.
No. People do the weirdest things. Wow. Are you fucking serious right now? Like, dude, they have
No
like
way.
crazy tattoos of George Bush too. Like this one here that's probably gonna get me canceled, but I don't even care. It says 9/11 as an inside job.
And he's skateboarding over
Oh
a
my
jaw.
God. Jesus Christ, Nina.
Somebody tattooed this on their body. Wow.
Like it wasn't enough to just like draw it somewhere, maybe even graffiti or whatever. But no, I'm gonna put it on my body
Wow.
for all time.
Oh my God. Wow. Keri, this is mind blowing. Okay, my mind has been blown.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there was a movie that you guys could tattoo on yourselves, what would it be, Christy?
I just said it, but
Was
okay.
it The Fly?
One of my favorite movies ever is Return of the Living
Ah.
Dead. I love that fucking movie.
So you're gonna
And
do some
Trash.
zombie?
Trash. If you know who that is, I would totally get a tattoo of her on like my arm or back or something like that. Man, I really want another tattoo.
So is that what you're gonna? Is that
Hell,
what you're gonna do?
no. I said I want to. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it.
Well, there is some. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Because I just saw it. I just
Do you have
looked it up.
tattoos?
Me? No,
Nina?
hell no. I
No.
hate tattoos. I like them on other people, but first of all, I'm not a needle person. That's why I never got vaccinated. But there you go.
Yeah, something like that. I would totally get that.
There's a tattoo of the person you like.
That's a
And
horrible, it's a horrible tattoo, but
But
with that
you do it.
scene, but
There's other versions too. That was just one.
yeah, there is.
What's it called? John, what would you do? What movie would you? The Room.
Man.
Would it be
No,
The
I would not
Room?
do The Room. But I was like, there's definitely
What
tattoos
is that?
out there. It's so infamous of a film. Like people have gotten that tattooed on their body for sure. Man, that's such a difficult thing because if you're willing to tattoo it on your body, you're basically saying, I believe that like this is one of the greatest works of art,
Okay,
That-
I got
that should
one.
be immortalized. Okay.
I got one. I think I would, if like I would do it very tastefully. Like if I was gonna do one, I would get like a little, probably like a bracelet, like an anklet bracelet of like the Sailor Moon tiara.
Ooh.
So like something really, really cute and tasteful. Like nothing like too crazy. Like I wouldn't like paint her on my boobs or something like that, but I would just get like a really tasteful.
Not on your face
anklet.
or anything?
No.
Okay.
Dude, I can't even like no. I don't understand people who do face tattoos, just generally speaking. Like I'm like, why do you do this to yourself? And I know a guy personally who I've seen his evolution of his tattoo, like becoming a tattoo person. And he just like now he's got a face tattoo. Like he's just like one day he showed up and he had like just his entire forehead tattooed. And I was like, what did you do to yourself? Like, and he's the nicest guy. He's the nicest dude, but like he looks scary. I'm like, oh my God, you look terrifying. But he's the nicest guy.
It's like marking yourself for people, though, like setting yourself apart in some very extreme way. And I think when people do that, I don't know, they really want to set themselves apart. Like, look at me differently, please.
Yeah.
You'll
don't know.
definitely get the attention, but I'm just like,
Definitely a lot of drawbacks that come with that, though, too. It's kind of like, the moment you almost ostracize yourself from the group or society, like, sure, you are an individual and you do stick out, but
Yeah.
you're also ostracized from the group, So
Yes.
it's like, yeah.
It's so funny because whenever we go anywhere with him, like especially like my husband, because my husband's Persian, he's got a beard and everything. So he's like, he just looks scary, like in a different way. So like, in a good way, scary, like just different. So like people are always scared of us because my friend looks like he's like in the cartel and my husband looks like he's from Iran. So everyone's always like, fuck, these people are so threatening. And they're like the nicest dudes. Like they're the nicest dude you could ever meet, but they don't have that aura.
You have like a hard face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Don't
a
mess
very
with
hard
me.
face.
So if I were going to get another tattoo, I also would get a very tasteful, slender, like a Pootie Tang tattoo. I'm kidding. I thought you were going to say. I was trying to think of it.
What?
When you were saying, I heard this joke in my head when you were telling us what you were going to get. Like, and it would be a very tasteful booty call tattoo.
You sold it. You were very.
I was like, I was there with you, Keri. I was like, wait, what? Like, holy shit. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay.
No, I wouldn't.
Keri, you got me. You got me. DL, thanks for $1.99. He says a Hillary tattoo is the same as the 666. Wow. Thank you for that. You guys want to see something scary but also funny? Here is a video that I thought was all like hilarious, but at the same time terrifying. Here it is.
Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to hear it in your pod. You'll owe nothing and be happy. Ain't got no cash, ain't got no car, but 24 booster shots in your arm. Oh, nothing. Be happy. You can't even buy shit in the store because of your low social credit score. Oh, nothing. Be happy. You'll own nothing and be happy. Be happy and eat the bugs.
Pretty good.
That's so good. I'm over here going.
This whole thing was produced by Claus. He's getting his message out there, promoting it with happy music. And
well, the terrifying part about that video is that it's AI generated, and that's the other terrifying part, right? Is like how far AI's come. Like I think like that's scary in itself. You guys know, people like the followers of my channel know that I'm not an AI person. I don't like it.
Neither am I.
Yeah, like I don't like it. I think they're gonna take us over. They're gonna kill us all. It's just gonna happen. It's a matter of time. And I think they're already here in the form of Jane Theory. Shout out to Jane Theory. But generally speaking, though, I'm not a fan. But like some people like it though. Keri, how do you feel about AI? Do you think it's going to take us over and kill us all one day?
I'm very anti-AI. I know there are people who argue that to create AI art, you have to learn certain skills, and it's just no. I don't think it's the same, and I think that's the reason why you see a lot of artists and who are now talking about like hire a human, because number one, it's taking the jobs. It is taking the jobs of artists. It is taking the jobs of actors and musicians. Did you see that really creepy footage from Disney Plus? They, instead of hiring extras for this scene, they ended up putting AI people in the bleachers instead of hiring actors, and it's cheap. I think that it's missing the human spark of joy. Yes, I think some AI art can get very close where you can't tell the difference. There was that case where the one AI generated painting won some award, and then they later found out it was generated by AI. But I feel like it's cheating. It's cheating people who, have talent and also more importantly have spent years mastering that talent. People I admire, people I could never be like. I think it's cheating them. I say this as someone who doesn't make a living doing art or music or any of those things. Or acting or anything. I don't know. It fundamentally feels wrong to me. I mean, in the space of news, it's going to be really hard. I mean, look at this global conflict that's happening right now. War propaganda has always been there, but now it's much easier to fake things and send things out and get everyone riled up. And, yeah, look at that.
That's the AI.
They're so cheap. They're like, oh, well, let's not spend on extras. Let's just put some.
Oh my God. It's
like a
terrible.
PS2 video game,
Like, wow. They couldn't even get a good one. But you're right. You're so right, Keri, too, like about what's going on with the global, like what is going on in that arena, especially with like all the deep fakes and, different things like that coming out.
Plus, and to go back to the art for 1 second, because I have to make this point, I really do. It's not just that it's taking future jobs from artists, musicians, actors. It's also stealing from the art of actors. Like in that case, how do you think they made those AI people? They have actors come in. They during body capture stuff on real people. The same thing for these AI generated music, AI generated art. They're feeding all of these hundreds of thousands, millions of art through an algorithm, and then training this thing off of the work and the talent of others. And so I think that's what some of the artists are now saying. We have to be compensated if you're going to use our art or our music or our writing, writers, to train these algorithms. Because I didn't get permission. If I were a painter and I found out what some of my work had been used to train an AI algorithm to replace me, I would be so pissed.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's what's gonna be weird is if and when we get to the point where there is actually like AI artists like that are developed, where they're not even human artists, but they have a human fan following. Like if the music is so good in some way where, in a sense, like somebody, maybe there's some production behind the scenes doing it. I don't know how that would even work, but that's going to be weird. And also too, just in the service industry, anything involving service, like those jobs are going to be eventually gone. Like this could be completely catastrophic to our economy and to just our whole entire way of life. But everything,
they're also going to start using AI. Okay, so there are some preachers who are already using AI to write their sermons. Okay, like talk about, you're not inspired by the Holy Ghost, you're inspired by the algorithm. Like,
wow.
There are.
Did you see the AI Jesus?
No.
You didn't see that, Keri, because there was an AI Jesus. Okay, that one was kind of cool because it was weird because it knows all the Bible stuff. So you would tell it like something and then it would talk to you as if it was Jesus giving you advice or like whatever it was. It was so weird. Did you see that, John?
I saw,
the AI
I seen
Jesus
that
thing.
I seen the guy, and I'm sure there's other like preachers out there that are doing this. But there was one guy, he was doing it as a test. His congregation didn't even know the difference. Like he had a sermon by AI and he preached it or he spoke it and they didn't even know. Afterwards he told them that it was AI and they didn't even have the faintest clue that this was something that had originated from non-human,
not a human
source. Like that's what's scary about that.
It makes me sick. I saw people in your chat saying, oh, just embrace AI. No, I think I am right that I feel sick to my stomach. It's like it's like a sci-fi movie where something foreboding is happening. I'm looking at this site, Nina, now that you said it. Text with me, Jesus.
Yeah, the text Jesus thing.
Not, I mean, even it's bad enough there's people who are now dating, AI porn bots who aren't even real people. And like, I mean, I think all of this stuff is I think it's a symptom of our very sick culture and our sick spirituality, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
This
It
is
takes
this is
the
the
human
AI
element
Jesus.
out of everything.
Yes,
with
Chrissy,
AI.
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like it's I always go back to like when I go to the grocery store, I don't do self checkout. No. You're gonna check my groceries and you're gonna bag them.
Oh my god, they just brought the self checkouts to Mexico. Because Mexico is like a little bit further behind, especially Cancun. So like that now they're just
But are
starting
you
to put
really
them.
further behind?
Yeah,
You know,
we are.
like, are you? It's kind
Technologically,
of,
yeah.
but I mean, but that might actually mean that you're further ahead. It's kind of
Really?
like, no, well, it's kind of like the family that went on Oprah like probably 20 or 30 years ago, and they didn't have TV. And Oprah asked them, "Well, don't you feel like you're behind everyone?" And they're like, "No, we actually feel like we're ahead."
Oh, well,
And
I
if you think
definitely
about
don't
it,
feel that way.
Mm.
Because when I go to the States, I'm like, oh, you guys are so like you guys are so much more
but
ahead.
but
Like
but you
in
but
certain
we're
ways.
closer to the elimination of human workers. If you
That's
think
true.
that's what I'm saying, like that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. And so in a sense, like technology is going
Yeah.
to be
I hear
like,
you.
sure, it's really great, might feel great now, but as long as it keeps on advancing the way it does,
Yeah.
we are going to be taken out of the picture, and there's going to be less need for human workers.
And that's exactly what's happening here. So like one of the reasons that I brought that up is because of what you're saying, because now because it's so new, like the allure is there. So people are like, oh, I want to try this out. Like, and like all the Mexicans are like lining up for the self-checkout, and they're barely any of the regular cashiers at the stores. So like, because they're not putting them on there anymore.
Mhm.
They're going to be out of a job.
And they have one guy working at the AI place. I'm just gonna call it the AI checkout. And the AI checkout's constantly breaking down because the machines don't work. And this guy's working harder than anybody else to like just keep all these machines running.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and they only have one guy, and he's basically doing the job of like 5 other people. And it's so crazy because I think that this is progress, but it's totally not, because it's like making everything slower, and it makes no sense. And this basically
They'll get the bugs out of their system, and eventually it'll,
yeah, but it's also like you said, John, like that's like Mexico, like the last thing we need is more poverty. Like people need jobs here. So
Right.
like them
Exactly.
making everything more automated is like, it's so stupid because they're shooting themselves in the foot, because those jobs are going a long way for this society here, especially, right? Because this is a third world country that people need their jobs. And it's just it's very bad.
My full-time job is like that, and they want to embrace some of the AI stuff, and I'm just like, oh shit, because they're talking about, well, we can do this in 5 to 10 years. I said, no, this is not going to be 5 to 10 years. This is going to be 3 years max, and a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, a lot. So
yeah,
unfortunately, I think when it comes to art, and maybe this is the case in your job as well, we've gotten so used to poor quality and poor output.
Yep.
That I think that it's made it easier for us to just roll over and accept what I view to be an inferior workforce or inferior music or art or what have you. I mean, most of popular music now sucks. And I'm not just, I know I fall into the old person cliche of like, oh, music today sucks. But no, most of it's already algorithm generated, and it all sounds the same. I have one of my gig jobs that I get to listen to the playlists of younger people, and they don't even listen to their favorite songs all the way through. They just skip to the next one, like TikTok brain. They just listen to
like
20
seconds of a
seconds. Song.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter because they all sound the same anyway. And it's just it lacks that human joy. And we've already gotten used to that kind of that crap. And so what's the difference if it's AI making it or it's generated by this same team of producers and algorithms that make every other pop hit,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that way in the workplace too, but it's sort of, if people are not doing a good job, if DEI and all this other stuff is valued so much more, and you can kind of do make work and slide by, and nobody ever notices that they're paying to have you on the payroll when you're not really doing good quality or good output, then what's the difference?
Yeah, no, I know. I
Yeah.
hear you. And the AI art thing like really fascinates me because I'm like, part of me, and like I agree with you about music too, because I'm like, man, I'm so old. Like I'm like, I don't like any of the new stuff. They're all like the auto tune anything. I'm like, get it out of here. But like just generally speaking, with regards to AI art, like it's so fascinating to me because I'm like, is this like the times where like, we were going from like painting to photography, and like they were like, oh my god, photography is like, stealing your soul, like you shouldn't use that because it's bad technology, like you got to have like the painters are going to go out of business and like all this stuff, right? Like we had this kind of like transitional period when it comes to like when new technology comes forth and starts becoming, like the next phase of what it's going to be. It's not that photography is not a form of art, but it's definitely replaced painting, like the way that people would go and get painted. And I wonder, like, as time goes on, if AI is going to become a method, like like moving forward, that is going to be indistinguishable from human art.
That's
I
the
think
that's the
we could reach
dangerous
it.
thing.
Yes, but I think what's going to happen is maybe just like with music. So now, if you see a live performance, and I'm not talking about the big performances where they're not even singing, they're lip singing their own vocals and everything's audio. They don't even play. A lot of these pop stars don't even play instruments or,
Yeah.
or sing, and they use auto tune. But if you go to a performance of a real, like an actually talented musician, and they're playing everything live, it's impressive. It's like you almost forgot what that's like. Oh, this person can shred on the guitar or whatever. And I haven't seen that in forever because everything's done with Pro Tools in a studio. And I think it might become the same way with art, where maybe people will start going to shows, kind of like Bob Ross, where they're sitting there doing it in front of you. Like, I am actually painting this myself,
Yeah.
And
Like,
it's like,
oh, it's a human painter. Like, like that becomes the anomaly, or that becomes the
Oh my
strange
god, that's
thing.
like so retro. Like
Yeah.
like oh my god, it's a human painter. Never seen that before.
Yeah.
And then DL here for Dawn Night says, I wonder what Art Bell would say about AI. Ooh, I'm sure he would say some very fascinating things.
Oh, Eternal Venture or Vigilance. He watched my last "It's Time to Leave Earth" video, and it's totally slipped my mind. But the self-serve ring out cashier is asking for tips now too.
Oh my god.
What?
Yeah.
Wait,
No,
can we watch it?
Not all of them. Well, it was just a news article.
Oh, okay.
But it's that's an actual. Some of them are actually asking if you want to tip on the way out. And you're bagging your own groceries. You're checking yourself out. Like, why would you tip?
If someone ever asked me that,
crazy.
and I do use self checkout sometimes if I have like less than 10 items or something like that. If someone asks me that, I'm gonna cuss them like they're a fucking dog.
Well, it's the machine. The machine gives you the option to tip.
Well,
No,
okay,
I'm
so
gonna
is the tip going to the guy that's taking care of like the 20 machines?
I don't know. I mean, to me, it seems like it would probably just go to the store. I could be wrong though, but it's just kind of funny.
That's insane.
It's just
I would give the tip to the person running the machines.
Yeah, same here. Like, I mean, like for example, again in Mexico, like this is one of those cultural things that's different. That was one of those things that I like learned here was that, for example, when I came to Mexico and in the stores, like this is before the stupid AI machines. But like, and they still do it here, is they have a program for seniors, and the seniors bag your groceries and they work on tips. So you give them like however.
Wait, what?
Like senior citizens.
Senior citizens.
Mm-hmm. They have a program where the senior citizens are working and for tips to bag your groceries. And
they're not getting paid hourly.
I don't think they do.
So they're just relying on tips.
They're just relying on tips. So I always tip pretty well whenever I go grocery shopping because, well, first of all, I earn like, US dollars. So I do a little bit better than, they do in pesos. But just generally speaking, because a lot of because it's a poor country. So a lot of generationally, they go out and work so that they can make money so that their families don't starve. And also like it's also because a lot of the older folk, they're like, alone, and they want something to do, so they
Yeah.
go and do it because it's to get out of the house
Sure.
and be around people, and they make friends with like other old people, and it's really cute actually seeing them all like kind of like huddle together and talk and like be like friendly and like blah blah blah. But just like but we don't have that in Western culture. Like we don't like they don't do that. So that's one of the things
Kind
that
of
I
the
think.
equivalent of the Walmart greeter, maybe.
I
Here.
guess so. Yeah, like a Walmart greeter.
They get paid hourly here.
Yeah,
So,
as far as I know, these guys don't get hourly by the store, but they get like the tips, like whatever you give
well,
them, and whatever the program
that's
is.
understandable that you would tip them, though. Like, I don't think that's like a,
But they're like doing something. They're
well,
offering you a
that's what I'm
service.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the difference. Even, I mean, if like, the cashier was bagging, they were doing the cashiering and bagging groceries. Like, I don't think that there's, anything wrong with tipping them for that. I know there's this whole thing though about tipping culture where everybody or everything is just asking for a tip now, and
The
there's
tip culture has gotten insane, man.
It really has.
There was a new episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, because you know how much Larry David loves tip. And he was like talking about like how there was like it's like a 20% tip in LA. It's like 18 to 20%, and then they wanted another 10% for like in the restaurant for like the greeter or like the head waiter or whatever. And he's like, so I'm giving you like 30% tip, like, and how much of it is going to like
hey,
which
you're not
waiter?
the government, you're
Yeah.
not the freaking government.
And then and then he was like, and then there was a tip line. And then the guy got annoyed because he didn't leave like an additional tip. And he's like, so I noticed that you didn't tip me. And Larry's like, well, you're already asking for like 30% tip. Like, what, how much more do you want? Like, and it's just like, just tell me the total you want so I don't have to do calculations in my head. But it was just a funny episode that because he's always talking about tipping, like over tipping people. The tech crisis for 5 says, a bit behind, but the woman has her name tattooed on her back, makes life easier for all involved. LOL. Wow. That's interesting. Okay. Thank you for that. Very, very interesting super chat. It's been 2.5 hours and we've been talking about the craziest topics. Did you guys want to talk about anything else? Any scary movies or anything like that before we call it? Any additional supernatural comments that you guys have? Because if not, we can wrap it up here.
No, because I don't believe in any of the shit, but
you don't.
No,
like zero
by any means, zero. But I'm never.
What about aliens? You don't believe in aliens
I don't believe in that shit. But I tell you what, if I ever see anything like that, my ass is running. I can admit that right now. But I'm not gonna disregard someone if they believe that they saw something. I'm not gonna be like, well, no, it's all in your head type thing. So I'm still gonna listen to you and be like, okay.
So you're not. So you don't think I'm crazy?
I believe I believe that they believe it.
You believe that I believe that I saw the Slender Man is what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I think you believe that. You believe that everything can be explained in some way. Yeah, just very empirically or there's an explanation for everything, but it's not supernatural. There's no intervention in that regard.
I used to believe in aliens until the government said they exist. Now I'm like,
now you doubt it.
I don't know.
I still believe them.
Point.
No, I
she has a point.
I tell everybody this. I think they've taken over for a long time. And I think that they've basically been implementing their plan to make us like them so that they can take over our bodies, like the invasion of the body snatchers. Everybody laughs about it. But look, the whole trans movement, I'm just saying, putting it out there. And also people like this demon guy that we're looking at earlier. You can't tell me that's no alien. That's an alien motherfucker right there. Okay. You guys are fantastic. Thank you everybody for watching. Keri, tell everyone where to find you and what you got coming up next.
Sure. So you can find me at Deprogram with Keri Smith here on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts, although I am backlogged on the podcast app. I'll let you know now if you listen to the audio things. And Wednesday nights, we do a pop culture show, and it's more of like a fun hangout show. So we did that right before coming here. And for the month of October, we've been deep diving into spooky subjects. So tonight, if you want to go and check it out, our episode was all about the Satanic Panic of the 1990s.
It was fascinating. Actually, I was listening to it before I came on here. I was listening to that and also Mario Notwall's Twitter Spaces about Israel and Palestine. That was next level as well. So it was just my head was full of like the crazier shit when I started the stream.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. Christy, you don't really make content anymore, but I'm so glad that you're here.
I put my Twitter, and I was like, you can follow me if you want to on the non-bird app X.
There you go.
There
you go, guys.
Mostly post smart ass shit. And I will tell you this because it's on my Twitter. On my microwave, it wasn't spinning one day. I was like, why is it not spinning? And my roommate comes in, heats something up, and I'm like, how did you get that to fucking spin? He's like, there's a button right there that says turn on or off. I'm almost 40 years old, and I didn't know that. But neither did my mama. So,
oh my
Learn
God.
something new every day.
That's
and
hilarious.
I was like, oh my God, are you serious? I was so fascinated by that, by a fucking on off button on my damn microwave.
I don't think I'll have to check on my microwave on that because I just thought it automatically spins.
Me too.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was any different. That's so weird.
Okay.
I'm trying to find something. John, tell everyone where they can find you and what you got coming up next.
You could subscribe to my channels, John Talks and John Talks 2. And yeah, I'll be posting silly little political videos probably till the end of 2024, and I might just call it a wrap and leave YouTube. So
What? Are
Yeah.
you serious?
I'm thinking about it. I've actually thought about leaving sooner.
That's
but-
what I
You have,
did.
actually.
It was great.
What's that? Oh, you.
So that's
yeah.
what I did. It's been great.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun and all, but just after a while,
You're gonna get sick of it.
well, it's I don't even know if I'm getting sick of it just as much as like you wind up doing the same thing, and after a while it starts feeling the same, and I'm sure people who watch my videos might kind of get that too. So yeah, looking to maybe explore some other things, and I kind of been doing that in my free time and just kind of but odds are I'll be around till 2024 still covering the this next big
The
election.
craziness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I got to stick around till then, and then
Where-
I'll figure out what I'm going to do.
Where did you come from, John? Like, what's your background?
Where did you come from? Where did you go?
So
Mars, like all men.
just in terms of like vocation and jobs.
Yeah, like the kind of stuff you're interested in and do.
Well, so I was telling Nina and Shell real briefly, like my early 20s, I went to Bible college. So
Wow,
I kind of I do have a background in terms of like theology. And I'm pretty well versed in that, but I also have an interest in philosophy. I mean, that's definitely another interest of mine, psychology. So a lot of the sciences and things like that. And the whole self-improvement niche and productivity, I find that to be interesting too. So yeah, a lot of, the problem is I could even keep going on and on. I have too many interests. That's the problem. In order to be actually successful when it comes to anything, like you have to be very narrowly focused on one particular thing, usually, or at least, not too many more than that. So I'm just kind of in this phase where I'm just exploring all these different things, and I enjoy learning. So yeah.
Keri, John was the first YouTuber that basically had me on his channel, and we started this show
That's what I
Infinite
thought.
Talk
Okay.
together during the pandemic.
Got it. Okay.
And I would go on his channel,
Those are
and we
some
would
fun streams.
we would just, it was like basically like a stream of consciousness slash, you know, going mad during the quarantine. And we just all kind of hung out together and kept each other company through that, you know, very tragic time for all of us. And so, and the way I found John's channel though was that one day he was having a discussion with this other girl, Jedi Bunny. Her name is Kelly, and she's also a content creator. That's a very lovely girl, and they were talking about philosophy. And so I was like, this is such a, I was like, such an interesting person, like, you know, and he talks about Star Wars and everything too. And so I got very interested in his channel because he was very philosophical compared to the other people in the space, because most people just focus on, you know, just the entertainment factor
And not the philosophy. Yeah,
not
that's
the
interesting.
philosophy.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, he's so interesting, fascinating dude. And so I kind of emailed him and I was like, I want to talk to you. And well, the rest is history. Like, here we are.
Well, it's very nice to meet both you, John and Christy. Thank you for inviting me on, Nina.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
Keri. I actually thought that you would definitely get along with John and Michelle. I knew you would get along with Michelle, but you already knew her from Toxic Femme.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a really good meeting you, Keri. I've watched streams that you've been on. So, you know, definitely familiar with you in this space. I don't want to say community because it's become like a
Fellowship,
yeah.
whatever you want to call
Yeah,
it.
but no, it's been great to finally actually, you know, get to stream with you and meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet both of you. And Christy, I like on your bio it says kiss my grits.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, and my
she's always done
pronouns are in my bio too.
Oh my
I
God,
love
what
my-
is your pronouns?
F you, fuck you.
Oh my God.
Why do I have a feeling? I had a feeling.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yep.
Carrie, Christy used to have the best streams. She doesn't do them anymore.
Did you do the Walmart stream?
Yeah, the Walmart stream.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ever
Yeah.
since Nina tagged me in that damn post, I've gotten 27 DMs about people Walmart stream.
Yeah, because it was a good time.
Oh,
and we would
absolutely.
just-
It was great time.
We would just sit there and like laugh at people Walmart and just the most
Oh, yeah.
ridiculous things ever.
The best stream ever was someone had sent me a picture of Vladimir Putin when he is shirtless on that horse. And not a minute later, my stream ended. I started it up again. That stream ended. I had to do it a third time. And I was like, it's Vladimir, it's Putin's fault. That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God. Yeah, I remember because it was like like they hated that guy, and you just like you scrolled past his body on the horse shirtless, and that was it. The stream was taken down.
Yep.
I couldn't believe it. Hey, Steeg is in the chat. What's up, Steeg?
Hey, asshole.
Wow. My God. What's up, Steeg? It's been a minute. Steeg is also from back in the day, and we used to hang out with him. Christy, are you ever gonna release that weird turkey review movie?
I lost it. I lost it. So I had my old laptop that I had. It rained really bad in my old apartment, and I lost a lot of shit.
Oh,
so
no.
I was so mad.
Bummer.
Oh, that sucks, because I remember that.
How's Greta doing?
It would have been good for you to release that for, like, what's it called? Thanksgiving this year. Oh my God.
Been great.
I'm so tempted to share this, but I feel like the stream's gonna get taken down.
It's great.
Is there any voice whispering in your ear? Do it.
I'm so tempted, but I'm not going to, just in case. I'm not going to.
Okay. Nina, real quick. Where's the bookmarks? I found this recently.
What is
I don't know if you wanted to share it though. So Culture Casino clipped one of my live streams And Stieg is wanting to put it in the chat. It's what he called Honey Boo Boo, if you remember.
Oh my God. That is so evil, guys. Fine.
I remember Honey Boo Boo.
Y'all are going to hell, but fine.
Oh, I already knew I was going to hell.
Here we go.
Down syndrome Marilyn Monroe. It's like a Down syndrome Marilyn Monroe.
But
Oh,
Y'all are going to hell.
oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
yeah, you can. It was just the first part.
Oh my God. There's another
I think
YouTuber
your
that's
guys'
on now.
your reaction to it is hilarious.
I mean,
It's like more fun than actual.
I know.
classic.
Oh, Justin Proper, yeah.
Yeah, Justin
Whatever.
Proper.
Yeah.
He
It's just
messaged me
weird.
actually like a few weeks ago, and he was like, "I'm taking off from YouTube, and I wanted to say thank you for just
Wow.
being cool and
Just
blah blah
completely
blah."
leaving.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm done. Like, I'm not coming back." And
Wow.
it was
He's
really interesting.
leaving the Matrix, eh?
Yeah, he's leaving the Matrix. He's like, "I'm out." I'm like, I was just like, "That's cool," because I remember you guys at that debate, like the Michigan Detroit.
I was
debate.
so drunk on that
Michigan,
stream.
Ohio. Yeah.
Some crazy times.
I can't believe I prepared as much as I did for that thing. Like that got pretty extreme.
That was so next level. I can't even believe we did that.
Yeah.
You know what? For old time's sake, let's play that song before we leave.
No, the Cleveland song.
Yeah, why not?
Let's do it. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
I don't know.
Cleveland
It's
song.
what I think it
Keri, are
is.
you familiar with this song?
The Cleveland song?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Cleveland tourism song.
I don't think so.
Okay, you're gonna love it.
AI could never replicate this. Don't care how-
No robot could make this.
No way. This is human ingenuity at its finest. This is the internet at its finest.
Yes.
Here we go.
Fun times in Cleveland.
Jesus Christ.
Come on down to Cleveland town everywhere. Construction since 1868. See our catches on fire. It's so polluted that all our fish have AIDS. We see the sun almost 3 times a year. This guy has at least 2 DUIs. Flats look like a Scooby-Doo ghost town. Don't slow down in East Cleveland or you'll die. Our economy's based on LeBron James. Buy a house for the price of a VCR. Our main export is crippling depression. We're so retarded that we think this is art. It could be worse though, at least we're not Detroit.
Who made this?
We're not Detroit.
This guy, this dude, he made this as a tourism video.
Like a mock. Yeah, it's like a mock.
I'm mocking. Yeah.
Yeah, like a mock tourism
course,
video.
It's so good.
He did the first one's okay. Like it's good, but this one is definitely like he reached his pinnacle. Like it's a work of art.
Oh, it's so good. That's old school YouTube right there, man. Like old school
Yeah.
funny YouTube when things were funny and you could call things retarded without getting a strike. Oh my God.
And then this video just gets taken down.
Yeah, no, good times, good times. But okay, thank you everyone for joining tonight. Special thanks to those of you who super chatted, became a member, gifted memberships, all that good stuff. Thank you for supporting the channel, and thank you so much to my panel and of course my co-host John for hanging out tonight, and of course Nick who was here, and Michelle. Please make sure you subscribe.
Not Melissa.
Not Melissa or Natalie. Well, Natalie's awesome too because she's the other half of Force of Light Entertainment, whose links are in the description down below, everybody. So make sure you go and check those out. And before we leave, I have set the redirect to Keanu's stream. So if you guys want to raid her stream, go and say Nina raid or Infinity raid. That is where I set it to. And of course, Nick is also streaming. So if you guys are interested in that, you can go and hang out with him. And I think he's got Adam Craigler on now. They made a date in the chat and this stream, and then they went over there and they're getting gay together or something. I don't know. So if you guys are wanting to go and check that out, go ahead and do that. Thank you 904 for the toonie saying thanks for the laughs, and thank you for the toonie. And I hope you guys have a fantastic Halloween if I don't see you. But for me, you can find me here on Friday for Infinite Hope, because we could all really use good news. And I will be here on Friday to provide that for you. And I will be in costume. So you will see my Halloween costume this year on Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to find out what it is, come hang out with me for Infinite Hope. Okay. I love you guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Don't do drugs.